And now, introducing a real mensch who wants to toss up a Hail Mary and be pimps from Oakland and Cowboys from Arizona. He's Glenn Clark.
Oh, boy. Oh.
A notification came up on my phone.
That was
in the middle of the introduction.
That was
it
rough.
Was a good one, too. Honestly.
Was it?
It was. If I gotten it out right,
hey,
it was a good one.
Hey, that was painful. I was feeling that one. Yeah, you ever just like you feel like the cringe factor or something? You're like, come on, man, you can do it. Oh no.
The notification right in the middle of my phone as I was reading it.
Yeah, a good artist doesn't blame. They take that responsibility upon themselves.
100% my fault.
Gotta work through all of the things that end up impacting you in some sort of way and deliver a strong performance, right? Like,
I'll try it again on Monday.
The game's on the line at the free throw line, right? Like, you can't say, well, hey, there was a guy in a gorilla suit hopping around behind. How am I supposed to be able to hit this free throw? You got to knock down the free throw or you're going to lose, your season's going to be over, and your girl's going to go home and F the guy from the other team. Like, you can't be doing this nonsense. That's the way it goes. Hey, man, we've all been there. I mean, every single one of us has obviously been in that exact situation. Jordan knows what I'm talking about. That's the way that it goes. Good morning, Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. You heard Paul. Today, a little bit of pressure because Jordan, if he's got to run the show next Thursday and Friday. And he's never done that before. I'm a bit nervous about it, but he's training. He's supposed to be like making sure, and apparently he's already 0 for 1. Apparently, already off to a bad start. Oh no. Oh, no. You going to be able to do this, Jordan? Jordan? No, into the microphone. Oh, my God. Why is this? Yeah. You got to turn the mic. All of this is on you.
Yes.
You've got to do all these things. All right? Like, nobody's going to be here to bail you out. You've got to do these things.
I think I will be able to, yeah.
You say you think you'll be able to.
It's a 50-50 shot.
No, Jordan, that's not good enough. I need
100%.
Way more confidence from you.
100%, Glenn,
you're running the show next Thursday and Friday.
I'll be able to do it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Hey, coming up on the show today, our buddy Booker Corrigan is coming back by the studio. I'm excited about that. It's been a long time since we've seen Booker. Love him. One of our best friends, of course, longtime lacrosse play-by-play voice. Booker Corrigan will be in a little bit later on this hour. In hour number 2, Tino Ellis is going to check in with us, Reisterstown native and former University of Maryland cornerback. He is continuing his football journey as he was drafted this week into the USFL draft. And I want to catch up with him and talk about why and talk about, what he knows about the USFL. Is he at all concerned about the longevity of the league? It seems like we got a late start on the audio broadcast. Oh my, Jordan, dude, can you do this?
I'm gonna get it. I will be able to do it. Yes.
You swear?
I swear.
Do we need to?
I swear.
Need to rearrange your schedule next week so you can train for another day.
I swear. Potentially, but I will be able to do it.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I will be able to do it.
Not great, everybody. Not great. Sorry we were late getting to you on audio. Oh, that only means it's more work for me after the show, Jordan. No big deal. That's all that means. Just means, okay, Paul says he'll take care of it. At least Papa Cass came in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning. Man, she came in, and it was just like a ray of sunshine. And had come over the studio. All of my concern, all of my weariness disappeared the moment I looked over and saw Papa Cass's bright, smiling face. So happy to be here on a Friday morning. Just everything going well. Papa Cass, thank you for lifting us all up this morning on a day we needed it. You really brought just a height of joy and an amount of, I think, comfort to the entire studio with that. Thank you again for also talking into the microphone. Everybody forgets we're doing a show here. Everybody forgets that we've got to
listen. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Right, but this is not for listening. I know. We're here doing a show on a Friday morning.
Pro amongst amateurs.
Oh,
man. We got to step it up.
Man. Oh, God. What are we doing here?
Hey, listen, I'm doing a little bit
You got to turn Cass up a little bit, Jordan. You got to be able to hear that and notice that Cass needs to be turned up just a bit, all right?
I'm including myself in that.
Yeah, it wasn't a good start with the Open either. Yeah, it was everybody.
It's been
Everybody was
rough start.
struggling. Everybody was struggling this morning. You gonna be all right? You gonna be able to make it through?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I told you. Like you said, I was a ray of sunshine. I'm
Yeah, exactly what it was. Kaz came in this morning and like we all just sort of looked like, what's going on? It's that thing like, do we talk about it or not? That type of deal. You know, you're hanging out with a group of friends and somebody shows up and you can just see it. I remember I had a particular when we used to do the old HF Festival back in the day. The final HF Festival that we did was when I was back at 105.7 in Baltimore, and we did it Memorial Day weekend, and we were informed very late in the weekend that we also had to come back in on Monday morning to do the show. This is when I was on the old Ed Norris show. So I had consumed quite a bit over the course of the weekend at the old HF Festival. We had who played that show? I think that was Kanye West was the headliner of that show. In fact, before he went nuts, and it was quite pleasant to be around. Frankly, like we actually had a really good time with Kanye West. Modest Yahoo was one of the headliners of the show. There's a nice combo for you. The Counting Crows was a hell of a weekend at Merriweather. So we get informed very last minute. Oh, by the way, you guys don't get off on Memorial Day. You guys got to come back in and talk about the weekend that you had at the HF Festival. I was like, all right, I guess that makes sense. So we come in Memorial Day, and I had too much of a weekend. And there wasn't much sleep for your boy. There wasn't much. I just sort of stumbled back into the studio. And I remember one of our hosts at the time, his name was Maynard. And Maynard just looks at me as we come back from break. And he's like, can we address something? And I was like, what? He's like, you look like you probably smell. I'm just like, oh, well, you know what? I think I'm okay. He's like, how can you look like that and not smell? I said, well, I mean, you know, I threw on some like Axe body spray or something before I came in the studio. I wasn't going to share it. He was like, but the point is, you look like someone who maybe traded your shower in for a little more sleep because you didn't get all that much. And I was like, that's correct. That part is 1,000% accurate. I was at the place where I was either going to get 4.5 hours of sleep or 4 hours and 45 minutes of sleep, and I chose 4 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. That was the decision that was choices were made here. That was the choice that I made. By the way, who's here? Somebody came in and turned the lights on. And then nobody walked backwards. Cass, can you figure out who's here? Yeah. Like if it's Booker that just got here early, well, tell him to come back and hang out. But I just don't know who's here. Very weird. Whenever somebody comes in and turns the lights on, nobody works here anymore. So
I saw a picture of Jason Momoa on Twitter yesterday, and somebody said he looks like he needs a shower. So if Jason Momoa can pull it off,
I mean, wait a second. Jason Momoa can do whatever he wants. He looks like Jason Momoa. Let's make something very clear about that. Oh, he and what's her face broke up, right? He and
that's where I saw it.
Lisa Bonet. Yeah, they're no longer.
Awful, but
wait, oh,
I didn't click.
Oh, I mean, did he? I like
no
Jason
idea.
Momoa. I want to keep liking Jason Momoa. I don't want that to change at any point. What are we doing here? I don't know what just happened. I don't know how we spent the first few minutes of the show. Jordan, thank you. The dynamite tip in from you, by the way. You know that's the way it works too. Like when you do this next Thursday and Friday, you are also the co-host of the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you understand that.
Yeah.
You've got to jump in at the places where it's appropriate to jump in. You got it. Yeah. But you should definitely wear your. Oh boy.
We got it.
Well,
I'll get him in shape.
I want to make sure I can hear Paul, hear you.
Right, but you can move one of the headphones. And you can then hear Paul in your ear when you need to, and still hear the show, and hear if everybody's at an appropriate volume and all of those things.
Yeah.
Like that would be the way that it would go. Hi, Glenn Clark Radio. Let's try again. It's Friday. Who's here? Who's hanging out this morning? What? Oh, Leah's here. Leah came in early. All right. It's very rare that Leah's here. That's why I was so confused. Not that she's here, that she's here at this time of the day. That was what was confusing about it. All right. You can say these things into the microphone. We really are struggling with the microphone part of this.
I was walking
the
in. I was still
microphone
putting
is
on
still.
the
But you can
headset.
lean into the microphone to talk to me.
Let's get little clip-on mics.
That's not how this works, Jordan.
I
It's
like
not
that
how
idea.
this
Maybe
show
it
works.
should. Maybe
He's
it should.
producing, and now he thinks he's
God.
giving new things for the show.
All right. Okay. Couple things. One, as far as news is concerned, the Ravens are bringing back Tony Jefferson. It's not all that significant, and not to be disrespectful to Tony Jefferson in any way. Very likable guy and very popular in the locker room. I've talked a long time about how Tony Jefferson is viewed by certain guys in that locker room. You know the way I try to explain to you that Anthony Levine is viewed? Tony Jefferson, maybe not quite that, but similar. Not because he's been here as long, because a lot of these guys showed up in Baltimore after Tony Jefferson had departed. But Tony Jefferson around the league, because he was a guy that went undrafted and carved out this really long career for himself where he's made a lot of money and he's been very successful, Tony Jefferson has an amount of respect throughout the league that, again, you might not expect given the fact that he's not Eric Weddle, he's not Earl Thomas from a football standpoint. He's not, some of these other guys that we've seen come into Baltimore over the course of the last couple of years. Tony Jefferson's a nice player who's clearly at sort of the twilight of his career. He's a nice player, but he is respected for the fact that he came from a place where he was not expected to have any career whatsoever as an undrafted free agent in the NFL. And it was something that caught me off guard. Like when Gus Edwards came into the league, I remember having a conversation with Gus Edwards that year about what a role model Tony Jefferson is for him. He would be like retweeting things that Tony Jefferson said. And I was like, wow, this is so random. This undrafted free agent running back who at the time I didn't know was going to make the team. We had no idea what Gus Edwards was going to be when he showed up. We all thought he was a nice player coming out of college, but he was an undrafted free agent. And he was going on about Tony Jefferson. I was like, this is random. Guys on the other side of the ball. I can't imagine they've established a relationship yet. And he really, I took some time. I pulled him aside one day, and I was like, I really want to know about this because this is fascinating to me. And he was like, dude, if you're an undrafted free agent, you look to Tony Jefferson. That's the guy. That's the dude who you're trying to replicate. And I was like, that's fascinating to me. That's really quite interesting to me that Tony Jefferson has that level of respect. As far as a football player is concerned, at worst, it's a depth move that doesn't cost the Ravens a ton of money. So, sure, by all means, bring back Tony Jefferson. If you get to a point where you start doing the numbers roster-wise and it just doesn't work, you don't have to guarantee his contract. He's absolutely the type of player that you could play the Anthony Levine game with this season. You could 100% go into week one, say, we got a 53-man roster issue, and drop him for a week and say, Tony, we're going to sign you back next week. We want you here because we like you as veteran depth, and we know that we're going to have guys get hurt as the season goes on, but the math doesn't work at the moment, right? We're not planning around anything. And that's sort of what I would say the way that you should. This to me isn't this can't be an insurance policy for something else that you might not do. This has to be just a guy that's here to be depth. Presumably Tony Jefferson would be happy to help out special teams-wise at this point in his career. All of those things. That's the way that I view Tony Jefferson coming back to Baltimore. Likable guy, obviously popular figure, all of those things, check all those boxes. But from a football standpoint, to me, it's a very minimal thing. It's a, why not type of move that the Ravens can make in bringing back Tony Jefferson. So that's my response.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think he's back mostly because of what he brings to that locker room. And he served himself well last year. Now, look, we're also basing that on who he was playing with in that defensive backfield. So you have to take
he certainly didn't embarrass himself by any stretch of the
absolutely
imagination. But I'm not planning on Tony Jefferson as being a starter for me. I'm not making my plans around Tony Jefferson as being a guy. It's if this ends up being my emergency situation, is that Tony Jefferson has to play, I'm more comfortable with that than I am. I mean, I don't even remember the names of those slappies they were throwing out there at the end of the Robert Jackson. I'd rather it be Tony Jefferson than Robert Jackson, who's forced to see the field at the end of the season. To me, this is not the important part of this. It's not an insurance plan for, well, we just don't think they're going to be able to bring back Deshaun Elliott, but no worries, we got Tony Jefferson. That doesn't work. If you're not bringing back Deshaun Elliott, you need to actually get a player. You need to get someone to, I guess if you want to say this is your emergency scenario, everything goes wrong for you this offseason and somebody's got to play, okay, but I got to do better than that. I got to do better than that with the guy that's out there. So that's sort of my quick Tony Jefferson spiel, not something that's worthy of that much conversation. Maryland had a basketball game last night. I can't pretend like I spent more than a couple of minutes watching it because I don't know why people would spend their again, if your job requires you to, but my job stopped requiring me to because nobody cares. That's just sort of the reality of the circumstances. They were briefly competitive, and then that was that. As Indiana won 74-64. I literally, what do you possibly want me to say about it? I can't. You couldn't get me to talk about the Maryland basketball game. They will next host Ohio State on Sunday. That, of course, is the 20th anniversary celebration. Are you going, Cass?
I hope so.
What do you mean you hope so?
I don't know how that works because.
What do you mean you don't know how it works?
Okay, hear me out. I was gonna explain it. I was just saying I go to a small school, so there's tickets everywhere. But when I used to go to Clemson and watch games, it's a lot different. You have to get tickets beforehand, and I wasn't a student, so it was hard to get them.
I promise you, this Maryland basketball team, you can show up the day of the game and get tickets.
There will
promise
be tickets.
you.
Okay.
even though they're doing the 20th anniversary celebration on Sunday, which is the best reason to go to a game this season. You can pick up our print issue of Pressbox right now, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Maryland's national championship. It's available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Pressbox, and read it all. PressboxOnline.com. Even though Sunday is the 20th anniversary celebration, and that is the best reason that has been provided to go to a game this season, there will still be plenty of. You will not have a problem walking up and purchasing tickets at the game. I assure you of that. Are you? All right, that's weird. I'm not even gonna. We're gonna just leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone and go from there.
What? What's wrong
It
with
might
Ohio
it might
State?
be harder to walk up to a Towson basketball game.
No,
and get some
but
tickets.
I get what you're trying to say. I get there was a great atmosphere there. Did you go on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I was there.
It was a
I was
great
there.
atmosphere.
It was
a
the
great.
student section was packed.
It was awesome, man. I didn't get to go because I had to work a broadcast myself on Wednesday night, but I flipped on Spiro as I was leaving my own game afterwards, and I was like, damn, man,
Yeah,
that place is electric.
I told you after the game, my friend and I made that pact.
Oh, let's talk about that. Our own Lil Jordan is a student at Towson, and he's very excited. I chastised him weeks ago. I was like, why is nobody support? This Towson team's good. Why is nobody supporting? He's like, dude, they're on break. And I was like, oh, all right, my bad. My fault. That's on me. I don't know what break is any longer. I've been well removed from college at this point. So you're going to have to explain this, and then we're going to talk about whether this is awesome or unnecessarily reckless.
Okay, so after they won, I was educating my friends on the fact that Towson has a very real possibility to make March Madness. Obviously, depends on some other factors. But
it depends on whether they win the CAA tournament or not. That's the only factor that it depends on.
So
there's no other path to reaching that. There's one scenario: do they win the CAA tournament?
And my friends were like, "Whoa, really? Us, Towson?" I was like, "Yeah, man, we're good this year." Anyways, my buddy and I were spitballing.
You sound like those Indians fans of Major League.
and so CBS Sports put out a poll.
No, by the way, why did I say there's no chance you've seen Major
I've
League?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I like baseball. I watch baseball.
It was Major League 2, though, wasn't it, where they were like, oh, no, we suck again. No, what is that? That's Waterboy. What am I thinking of? What did he say? There were the 4 Indians fans, and they all hung out together.
There's a high fly ball in the left field, and he goes, no, it's too high.
Right. They definitely said that, but there was something he said at the beginning of the season.
Oh, it's the Asian guys when they're working on the mound.
That's what it was.
They're still Essie.
Yes, that's the one. That's exactly the
on
one,
TV, it
right?
says they still suck.
Right, correct. All right, sorry, go ahead.
But
Solve
yeah,
that problem.
So,
Got to the bottom of that.
So we were talking, and I was like, look, if CBS Sports has us playing Alabama in Buffalo as a number 13 seed.
So their bracketology, they believe that Towson's going to win the CAA.
Yes, and be a number 13 seed, which
Right.
would be
Well, by the way,
awesome.
I said this a few times. There have been people that have made a comparison to UMBC. The winner of the CAA, unless it's one of the bottom teams that just happens to make a run in the tournament, the winner of the CAA will not be a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. That will not occur.
Yeah.
Whether they're a 13 or a
Yeah.
14, whatever they
Yeah.
would be, the CAA as a league, the profile is higher in all of the mathematical rankings. By the way, that year, if Vermont had won the America East, they wouldn't have been a 16 either. It was unique that UMBC ended up being a 16 that year. But yes, the winner of the CAA, unless it's a terrible team that happens to make a run, they will not be a 16 seed. Go ahead.
And so we were like, oh, if it's in Buffalo, that's a 6-hour, 10-minute drive. And so the first part of the pact is if they make the tournament and it's under a 15-hour drive, we're going to skip class, skip work, pack our bags, and go to the game.
Trying to think 15. Why 15 hours? What did you figure 15 hours is?
We saw USA Today have us playing Milwaukee.
And
this was in their paper.
Is a 15-hour drive?
Milwaukee's like a 14-hour, I think.
All right.
So we said 15 is where we'll kind of draw the line, and we'll pack our bags and we'll go. And then my buddy and I, we were spitballing, and we go, wouldn't it be awesome if we not only go, but then they win to that night in this random city we're in, go to a tattoo shop, and get either just the word Doc or get like Doc the Tiger's face with like
who you've hugged on a few times.
I have hugged
it's a Valentine's Day special from the Schwartzberg family. Yes.
I have, yes.
Yeah,
and
but
so
you're gonna get Doc tattooed like on your arm or something, right?
No.
Like a nice
on our butts.
Now why? Why?
Oh, because
you don't have to do that.
That's what 20-something dudes do.
Yeah, like.
Whoa.
Oh,
I've never done it.
Oh,
I've never done it, but I know a lot of 20-something dudes who just think it's funny to get a tattoo on.
I was in my 20s at one point. At no point did I have a conversation with any of my friends about getting a tattoo on my butt. That did not occur.
But the butt is like the easiest place to like hide something that's not that serious. Like if you're gonna mess around, like who's gonna like. Sorry, but who's
inevitably
see this tiger on his butt?
Are my grandparents going to see my butt tattoo?
No, but like, why do you? Oh God, why is that the thought that comes to mind? Like, why is your concern whether or not your grandparents will see it? How often are you wearing shirtless shirts around your grandparents that if you get a tattoo in the upper portion of your arm, they're going to notice that?
Yeah, no offense.
So wait,
I don't
wait.
A tiger with a thumb up would be a great tattoo on like
any
other part of the body.
Did we say thumb up? Are we doing are we doing it Johnny Knoxville style?
He said thumb up.
He just said he could be the word Doc too.
Or the.
I liked Paul's reference because one of our other friends who proceeded to not want to get the tattoo but wanted to come with us. Paul mentioned getting Tony the Tiger and writing like Towson. They're great.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid.
First they have to win. Or first they have to make it there,
I understand that. They got a good chance of doing that. Like, that's a real thing that could occur. Remind me what your Twitter account is.
It is Schwartzberg JS.
All right. Keep going.
But yeah, they first they have to make it, and second, they have to make it and it not be like in Fort Worth or in L.A. or some.
Why? I mean, at this point, this is your chance. I disagree with that. L.A. is one thing, but if it's Fort Worth.
You think?
Yeah, man. You're college. I don't care. You're college students. You get one opportunity in life to do something like this, man. To be at a school who crashes the party. And by the way, think about all the UMBC kids that didn't drive down to Charlotte. And I get it, Charlotte not nearly as far, but they didn't drive down because they're like, I'm just going to get our asses kicked by Virginia in the first round. They could have been there to watch the most historic moment ever in the history of the sport of basketball. And they were just like, don't really want to do it. Who cares if it's in Fort Worth? Go! That part I'm completely on board with. Like, go. The ass tattoo thing, it's just nonsense.
I'm for all of it.
I would say,
thank you.
Wait a second. I would say if they win.
No, that's what I said.
No. Not if they make it to the tournament. If they win their first round. No, not if they win the tournament. They're not going to win that.
That's what he said, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you just said if they get in.
No, he goes, and if
I go,
if they win their first round game.
I'm getting it in the city.
Well, okay, you know what? I've changed my mind. I actually have changed my mind on this.
It's not
I'm
just
on
if
board.
they get in.
I was going to say, if they just get in, a lot of teams do that.
Yeah.
I had a friend coax me into getting into another fantasy football league back in 2020. So I said, okay, sure, why not? I'll join. It's $50. I join, and then they tell me about a third of the way through the season that the punishment for last place is you have to get the league initials tattooed on your butt.
What is it with butt tattoos?
And make it your profile picture on Facebook.
Okay, now that's a little bit different.
That's funny.
So
that's a little bit different.
I was like, and I was at that point.
Well, how old were you?
This was last year.
Okay, no, that's not.
I didn't know this rule, and then at that point, I was like, 1-6. I was in dead last place. I won 2 or 3 games at the end of the season. I finished in second to last place. But my whole
Hey, man, that's all that matters.
my whole plan was I was just going to block everybody and not do it. Because there's no way I'm putting a tattoo of my ass as my profile picture.
Yeah, they're like, I'll get a tattoo. I'm only sending it to you in a group text. I'm not going any further than that. I still don't understand why it's got to be on your ass. I still don't really get that. At that point, I would rather it be somewhere where people might see it at some point to tell the story of you and your buddies making this road trip to Fort Worth to support your team and your team stunning Alabama and winning a game. And that would be a great story to tell.
I guess it's more for the youths, but people would get a kick out of it more.
He would get a kick out of it. It's brought up at a party.
If it's on his butt, I'm not gonna lie.
But this is the problem.
So funny.
You understand? What makes it a great story is you're gonna be sitting around at a party at some point, and you're gonna be telling your friends about you're playing 2 truths and a lie or whatever, right? You're gonna be doing something. Who's got the craziest story? Be like, yeah, I got a crazy story for you. I got a tattoo on my. The first thing they're gonna say is, "Let us see it." Are you okay with the fact that you're going to be asked to see your ass tattoo?
It doesn't have to be straight in the middle of your butt cheek. So if you.
Oh no, I was getting straight dead center middle of the butt cheek.
Okay.
we were even thinking.
I would have gotten it on the side maybe, so you could just pull it down slightly.
We were even thinking maybe instead of Doc, one of our friends said get scratches. Make it look like your butt was scratched, or
get on one cheek and C on the other,
or get a paw print.
Your poor girlfriend.
Get 2 paw prints.
Yeah, what is her response to all this?
She told me, she was like, as long as you get my name tattooed under it.
I like her.
What?
Yeah.
That's a good way to end your relationship.
No,
yeah.
I like that.
Bro.
It never
I'm
works
sorry,
out.
but if my boyfriend was like, I'm gonna get tiger scratches on my butt cheeks, I'd be like, all right. If that's how little you care about your butt cheeks, you can put my name on it. I like her. I think it's a great idea.
Oh boy,
it's a guarantee.
I'm actually.
It's bad. It's bad karma though. Right?
It's really bad karma.
Yeah.
It's really really bad
that's
karma.
What I told her, and she was like, "We'll think about it."
It is though.
Are you really gonna do it or not? This is the part. It's easy to sit around and say things like this. And then if they actually win this game, you're going to have to walk in and pull down your pantaloons, pull down your knickers, and show somebody your butt cheeks while they tattoo you.
I have no problem showing my butt cheeks.
Well, that part it's a different that's a conversation for another day.
But no, if they actually
guess we've all been 22.
If they go and they win, I think I'll just be so on a euphoria.
But what I'm saying is that's the
I'll
part.
Go and
why wouldn't you want the tattoo to be somewhere that people could see it? You know, this tattoo on your chest, right? Of the time you and your buddy made this trip, and then you go to the pool or go to the beach next summer, you take off your shirt, people are like, hey, what's that all about? And you get to talk, we were there. We watched this amazing upset, and our guys pull off this incredible victory.
It would have to be a decent-looking tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you got the actual, mascot and you put it on your body where, you could see it at the beach or something, that'd be traumatizing.
Why? Why would that be traumatizing?
Are
you a fan or not? What do you care about? What do you love? Why do you keep going back to? He's putting it on his butt. That's way more.
Okay, I'm saying this because I know friends that have tattoos on their butt, and it's way funnier. It is way more funny than having some tiger just printed on your chest.
Yeah,
I'm not obsessed with.
And
butt.
it's
I'm just saying it's better.
There's these I forget the name, or I don't even know if they have a name, but I've seen photos of kids at other schools that go get their mascot tatted on their butt, and then at parties they cut out a little hole in their pants where the tattoo is, and then people walk by and they look down and they're like, oh, that's a sick tattoo, dude.
Let's just destroy our pants.
Look, man,
I
have
this
fascination with ass tattoos. This is a completely different world for me. I have no. I don't even know what to say, honestly. I have no response to it whatsoever. It would never happen in a million years. But I love the idea. I love the idea in general of you experiencing something that you know you want to remember forever. And I'm telling you, the regret I have, I wrote about this. When Maryland, I was a freshman, and I didn't go down to Atlanta for the championship. I was just whatever, we'll hang out at Cole Fieldhouse, we'll watch, right? I was broke, you know what I mean? I didn't do the math. the hell with that. The hell with all of it. You get a chance to see something and go experience something special, go do it. I'm all in for that. And while you're there, the idea of euphoria, 100%. You're going to be feeling afterward. I watched Maryland win the stupid Peach Bowl a year later. They beat Tennessee. It's irrelevant. It's a dumb bowl game. And I was feeling some sort of euphoric high afterwards. I remember making out with a girl who was a Tennessee fan who was like very literally in tears, and I was like, I tried to pull a note. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, what a tough night, Did one of those numbers. I was feeling a high. Little Richard was playing downtown in Atlanta that night. It was an incredible night in my life. But I get that. I understand wanting to experience that. I just don't get the part where it's got to be on your ass. That's the part where I tap out. I feel like anywhere at all, it's a good story. And in your ass, one day you're gonna be you're gonna turn 60 years old one day. Like that's going to occur. You can't defy aging.
And I'd still be laughing about it then.
It's permanent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I have tattoos.
Well,
because
it's like if I put my parents and my grandparents, they hate tattoos. Like they were like, if you ever get a tattoo, you're disowned.
So you want to lie to them? Well, that's what this is about?
Well, if I get it on my butt, I have the story.
By the way, that would be the first thing that would make me want to go get a tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that would immediately make me want to run out and say, like when being that age, like I would be like, take this. You're not going to tell me what to do. Of course, then they're like, well, then you don't get access to the beach house or whatever any longer.
Exactly.
Oh no, that was the Valley family that had the beach house. That was the Valleys with their beach family.
My family, my mom tuning in all the way down in South Florida while on vacation. She says, I worked in the ER for 9 years and saw many tattoos. I can tell you that tattoos on the abdomen and ass do not age well.
But
who at 70 years old is gonna be seeing some 70-year-old?
You got health problems. No. You got health problems at 70. You're gonna be. There's definitely gonna be way more of that at that point.
If I'm in the ER and something happened and they're like, ugh, look at this tattoo. But then I get to go into the store. I'm like, you remember back in 2020 when Towson went and upset.
2022, Jordan.
2022.
It's very difficult to remember what year it is. I understand that.
But my sanity is obviously not here at the moment. But
we'll separate it from an Cassidy. What if you guys won a national championship next year? If Stevenson women's soccer won the national championship, would you get a tattoo to commemorate it?
For sure, I think I would. But I have a lot of tattoos, so it's like I don't mind it. Like,
what's a lot of tattoos?
I have quite a bit, but like I'm one of those people that like I want to be business professional, so like I put them in places that I can hide them easily.
My butt. That's why I'm a butt.
I'm actually getting a tattoo this weekend. So
I have 6 that you can't see that you maybe you've seen them when I wear short sleeves, but they're hidden.
Where?
Not on my butt.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I think you can hide a tattoo without having to be on your butt, and I still.
But would your family disown you?
My first tattoo, I was 18.
By the way, we're talking about this. Does nobody in your family listen?
Oh, no, they'll listen if I send them the show.
Okay.
My grandparents can't figure out
how the internet works. All right, that's good news.
And
that's good news.
And then both my parents are working right now.
A single tattoo would lead them to disowning you.
I don't think
they wouldn't understand the moment. They wouldn't understand.
Okay. So I talked to my dad about it.
Yeah.
And my dad and I kind of agreed to keep it a secret if it did happen. And then my dad said, if Towson went on somehow, by the grace of God, to make like the Final Four,
I mean, like, come on,
or further,
he
would reimburse me for the tattoo. So I think he's on board.
That's his way of saying I'm not going to do it. No offense, right?
Yeah.
George Mason got to the Final Four once. Yes, that did occur, but. We're talking about a 1 in a billion scenario. Like, no offense. Don't get me wrong. Like, I hope that it would be the greatest thing that could ever possibly happen if Towson were to make a run to the Final Four. It ain't. They haven't been to the tournament in 31 years. Yeah. This is a very impractical thing for us to discuss as being legitimate.
And they still might not get there.
They might not get there. There's no guarantee.
For all we know, we could just be spitballing about something that never comes.
What
to
if
existence.
What if you told your grandparents? What if somehow we could make it charity related? What if like we did a thing where we asked people to raise money for some sort of Towson connected charity? You know what?
They would be on board.
I have a connection with the veterans department at Towson, and them taking care of veterans on campus. I've worked with them over the years.
All three of my grandpa, because divorced, remarried. all three of my grandparents served in the Army, so
And
they would
of course,
like
we
that.
know what's going on in the world right now,
Yeah.
and so we're thinking about all of it. So what if we, like, if we said to your grandparents, Jordan raised $500 for the Veterans Department at Towson, and had to get a visible tattoo, had to get one that not on your butt, but like somewhere like here, would they be down with that?
I would like to think so.
Would you run it up the flagpole and find out? You can always go right back to the ass. You can always go back.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a decision you're making at 20. How old are you, 22, 21?
Yeah, 22.
22. I feel like that's a decision.
21. I'm 21. 2022, 21.
My God,
Yeah.
what is going on today?
My head is.
I feel like it's a decision you're making at 21 that you're just not thinking about what it's going to be like when you turn 40. That like you're gonna at some point say, I wish I wouldn't have gotten this tattoo on my ass. I wish I would have just gotten a normal tattoo. Booker Corrigan's here. We're gonna ask Booker about this. Get his thoughts.
All right. I just don't.
Yeah, if you don't mind. You can hang out, though. You don't have to run out of the studio. You can hang out over in the right, sit in that chair or something like that. Booker Corrigan, we got a conundrum. We're gonna introduce you to the crew here. That's Cassidy, by the way. That's Papa Cass. This is our new producer Paul here in the purple shirt. This is our young Lil Jordan. Is this gentleman right here in the light blue shirt? We call him Lil Jordan, like Lil Jordan Humphrey, the wide receiver from the Saints.
Jordan, nice to meet you.
Lil Jordan.
Focused on me
Nice
right
to meet
now,
you,
I can
too.
tell.
He's trying to get your name up on the screen. He's trying to make people know who you are. All right, yeah, we're working on that. Well, I mean, it
Been
says
a while. I miss you.
I love you, buddy. It's great to see you. Booker Corrigan is here. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk some lacrosse. We got some things to do with Booker, but I want you to chime in on this subject. All right. So Lil Jordan is a student at Towson University. All right. He's 21 years old. He's a good kid. He's working hard. In fact, we've elevated him to a part-time role here at Pressbox because
elevated to a
he's
part-time role.
such a hard worker. We
Does
like
that come with benefits?
no, not. I mean, does anything? I mean, come on, Book. So Jordan is very excited. Yeah, as you know, Towson basketball is having a hell of a season.
Yes, they are.
They're very good. They're tied in the loss column for first place in the CAA. They have a real chance at ending a 31-year drought and getting to the NCAA tournament. Real opportunity to do that this season, right? Jordan and his buddy have decided that if Towson reaches the NCAA tournament and their first-round matchup is within a day's worth of driving, so if it's not out on the West Coast, if it's not,
Right.
he's eliminating Texas, which I think is a mistake. I think he should keep Texas in play.
I like Texas in play.
I think it can be
All right,
done.
all right.
But they had said within like Milwaukee was there. I think he should stretch that out to Texas. I get it. If it's I think I was looking over the hosts. There's a Portland there. That's a bit. I don't think that's reasonable. There's a San Diego. If it's one of those two,
San Diego.
San
Gotta
Diego,
go to
yes.
San Diego,
Yeah.
just
By the
go
way,
to San
just for the
Diego.
sake of going, I'm actually with
What's
you
wrong
on
with
that.
flying? Little
I mean,
We're-
they're
we're
broke.
broke.
They're
We're
broke.
broke.
They're college
You
students.
get
Keep
enough
that in
money for
mind.
a Brooklyn something jersey.
Jackie
You've
Robinson.
been playing underdog fantasy football. You haven't been maybe putting
I
some
mean, yeah.
some money
You got
aside.
money for
I-
the gas and the food to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spend that
Yeah.
on a flight.
Yeah.
And that's what grandparents are for. And parents are
Well,
like,
that's
hey,
it's ironic you bring that up. It's
yeah.
ironic you bring that up. All right. I say I am actually with Book. Right. Like you're this. Anywhere it is, I would try to get there, whatever it takes. Right. Like you're a
Yeah.
college kid
Fair.
experiencing something
Fair.
like that. I would try to do it. But the plan is they go right. And then if Towson, who's not going to be a 16 seed, but is definitely going to be a lower seed.
But they're not even in yet. So
They're
let's-
not.
let's
If they get in,
temper
if they
our-
get in though, they'll be somewhere between a 13 and a 15 seed,
Yep.
right? If they were to somehow pull off a first round upset, he and his buddy, who are going to go to the game, are going to go get a tattoo
Wow.
to commemorate Towson stunning the world,
Yep.
pulling off a shocker in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They've decided
I love where this is.
they're going to get said tattoo on their buttocks.
Yeah, that's the only place you can really get it.
Really?
Or the hip.
Why? Why
'Cause
can't
you-
you get a nice tattoo on your arm, man? I don't get this.
You asked me the question.
I know,
this
and
is
I'm asking
my
you a follow-up.
answer.
Thank-
It's my
thank you.
answer.
I'm being a journalist
You
now.
want it somewhere that the bathing suit covers.
I don't-
Yes.
that's-
Why would you
Thank
not
you.
want to tell people the story years later? Why
You
would it
can
be?
if you
You-
want to?
You can take a photo. You can pull if people really want to see it,
I don't
Hey,
get
little
this
Jordan,
at all.
if Towson makes the tournament and it's got to be a flight, I'm in for $50 to pay
Wow.
the airfare.
Look
I'm
at
in.
this.
done.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
going.
at this.
But no, now you're not flying to Raleigh.
Right. Yeah, you're
No,
driving
no,
to
if-
Raleigh.
if,
yeah.
If it's like a West
So if
Coast,
it's if it's past Milwaukee,
Yes.
you'll throw in $50 for Lil Jordan to fly there. Look at that. He
I'm
doesn't
in.
even know you.
But I care.
Thank you.
And I love
Thank
Look
to
at
see
you.
Peter's connected to something dialed in, right?
He's really excited about it. He's very
I've been-
excited about
I've been
this.
all my friends are not nearly into sports as much. Like they like it, they gamble on it, but they don't. They're not.
That's really what they're into. Yeah.
They're not into it as much as I am. And I've been since like halfway through the season. I've been telling them, I'm like, Towson basketball. We're doing
Yeah.
something. We're doing something.
got
this
something
This is.
special.
I can't believe you're supporting this. This makes
Yes.
me.
No, I'm
this
in for the
makes me-
No.
No, for the flight.
in for
I
the
understand,
flight.
but you're supporting the
Tattoos on
idea.
your
Of,
own.
you're supporting the idea of an ass tattoo.
But it's also
Why not get a nice tattoo somewhere where
on
people?
your arm. Why not get it on your neck? Where are all
Well,
your
I mean, I would probably
Where are your
limit.
tattoos?
You're not going to get me to answer that question
Where
out
are
loud.
your tattoos?
I actually legitimately have never had a tattoo in my life.
Neither. I don't have
Legitimately.
any either.
I have
So,
none,
yeah,
zero.
So you're asking like.
But in a scenario
tattoo
like
villain.
this, right? Like, okay, let me present a scenario. You're a father, right?
Yeah.
Your kid.
Buttocks.
wi-
Somewhere in the meeting two covers. You
Your
don't even
kid
ask the question.
wins a national championship, right? Like, let's just say that little Graham, who's playing for Hereford right now, my 7-year-old, he grows up. He ends up playing just because I work.
Maryland.
I work for Loyola and Stevenson's. Let's play.
Yeah.
He plays at one of those places, and they win a national championship. And he says, "Dad, I want us to get tattoos to celebrate me winning a national championship." I would, of course, say yes, but I would want it to be here. Like, I don't think I would
Shown.
want it to be on my buttocks. I don't get the idea. It's almost like you're getting a tattoo, but not getting a
Well,
tattoo.
because my parents don't. They've never liked tattoos. Never wanted them.
Come from the
This
same.
is part of the. This is
but-
part of the issue.
But I told my dad was at the game with me on Wednesday. Wednesday was the JMU game.
Yes, Wednesday.
And I was talking to him, and I was like, "Look, Dad, like if they make it, like me and the guys, we're going." And he was like, "Skip class, do whatever. Like I don't blame you." And then I told him about the tattoo idea if they win, and he was like, "And if they make the Final Four,
Okay.
I'll reimburse you."
I was wishing that he was going to
doesn't
do
have
it
the word
too.
read.
I was wishing that, like, if it was they made the Final Four, he would do it too. Like, let's really put something at risk here. Like, let's really do something along those lines. You think this is a?
Tattoo?
I have 6 of them.
6 of them.
Yeah.
Any on your buttocks?
No, I have 2 on my back and then 2 on each arm. But you can't
Okay.
see them unless I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt.
Okay.
Which he does regularly around here because I requested. I say, wear those short sleeve shirts.
Along with the hat?
Yes,
I know the story
100%.
behind the hat, but
Yeah,
I still
don't-
marvel at the fact
It's
that
a
you
great
s-
hat. Settle down, Bo.
So when I was 18, I came home from college for a weekend and I got my first tattoo. Literally a week after I turned 18, my mom told me no tattoos. I got it, and
What is it of?
What's that? It's
What's
just
it
a cross. It's actually my least favorite tattoo, and I'm working on getting it covered up at some point.
What else do you have?
There's a cross there. I have a cross on my back with the word faith under it. I have a sun with a face and kind of like the sublime sun on my other shoulder blade. I have.
Into the microphone. You got to
I
keep
have
talking into the microphone.
in memory for my grandfather who died.
Okay,
on my
see
12th
that? I
birthday,
love
and then
that.
My initials with the Roman numeral 3 on
But
my
you didn't
back.
put it on your butt.
No, I did not.
It
but I
meant
did
something to you.
Put the one cross on my arm, which meant nothing to me. And like an idiot, I left the "How to Care for Your New Tattoo" paper on the kitchen counter. So when my mom got up
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
screams, "Paul!" Comes up, yells at me. I get up at 9. I go down and show her that my short sleeve shirt covers the tattoo, and she was like, "Oh, okay." So as
Buddy-
long as it's covered, parents don't usually care.
Buddy of mine got the coolest tattoo I've ever seen. He's a fly fisherman, and it's a hook with a fly. You know, you tie those flies, and it's on his shoulder blade, and that's the only tattoo he has. So it's kind of cool, but there's not a big story behind it. I love the Towson basketball tattoo
My
story.
point is, if I'm at the beach next summer and I had been there,
But
right?
you got to look at his arms. I can't see.
Well, yeah,
his
there's
arms,
it's
but
not
I
much of a
can
gun
tell,
show,
yeah.
right? Like, I understand
So
that.
he's going to be wearing long sleeve shirts at the beach anyway.
Wait, what are you, a rash guard? By the way, I'm a rash guard guy now. I don't care any longer. I don't care. I'm old,
I'm
man.
gonna go, or I could go full speedo, and then they
No,
could
no,
see
no,
it,
no, please
and then
no.
they could see it.
Please no.
You know what? We're going to talk about a scenario where if you do get a butt tattoo, we do a charity thing that involves you wearing a Speedo somewhere. We're going to talk about something
Run the
like
Baltimore
that.
10 miler in a Speedo.
Oh my God!
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Booker, we're doing that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it, and I'm
But-
in for $50 if it's a flight.
By the way,
right. Sounds good.
after I ran the Baltimore 10 miler, I wish it had been in a Speedo because I wanted to die. It was the hottest day of the
You were
year.
fine.
I was fine at the
finish
end.
line. You
It
were
was the
fine.
hottest day of the year, Booker. It was
That's
so hot. And I had ran another mile just to get to the start. I was running late that morning, didn't realize I had to park so far away, and I ran another mile just to get to the starting line in time.
They would have held it up for you.
I was that important? I was
Yeah.
that important to the Baltimore
Ladies and
10 miler?
gentlemen,
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to keep running in place for a little while because
Let's
we
do
have
some
we have the
stretches.
dignitary who hasn't arrived yet for the Baltimore 10 mile. I keep trying to explain to people that I was the 25th fastest man in Annapolis.
Yeah.
Nobody ever remembers that. Nobody People forget that I'm the 25th fastest man in Annapolis.
How many
That's a
people in the
legitimate.
race?
I don't remember. Am I supposed to remember how many people there were in the race?
27.
I got no. There was far more than 27. I can pull it up. How many people were in the race, Book?
Dude, these things are beyond me. I came
Come
here to
on,
talk
man.
about lacrosse.
I know, but these are your
Penn
events.
Duke. We're doing the Penn Duke. I'm doing it with my brother.
Where is that game?
The game is being played at MacArthur High School in Levittown, New York, which is famous for producing amazing lacrosse players and men of great character like Bill Tierney. But then you have Duke and Penn going, the two top 10 teams.
It's a big matchup.
Yeah. First time in the history of anything.
I finished 22nd.
Congrats.
Top third. I was in the 33rd percentile.
Nice.
Shut up.
Without saying a word.
I was in the top 10 percentile of all runners. So if you include the women, I was in the top 10. I was in the top third percentile of the men. I was in the top 10 percentile if you include the women.
I finished.
And I believe in equality, so I do include the women. So I was in the top. I'm a top 10%. I'm in the top 10% fastest people in Annapolis. Sorry.
Sometimes the best way to say something is to say nothing.
Yeah, all right,
Oh,
shut up, Booker.
Justin
I ran the,
Timberlake.
the Bel Air.
You know I came here to quote music.
I do love that.
I ran the Bel Air Town Run.
That's not a Booker Corrigan event, so we don't care about it. I'm sorry, we only speak about Booker Corrigan events here.
Official Corrigan sports
Yeah,
events.
that's what
Baltimore
that's
10
what we
miler,
speak about.
Annapolis running
How'd you do?
I finished 17th. I did in like 21 minutes. The guy that won was he was from Kenya and he was preparing for the Baltimore Marathon and he ran in about 12 to 13 minutes. I did 21 and I was super proud.
Was it a 5K?
It was 5K.
That's really good.
It's
21 minutes
it's quite
is really
fast,
good.
yeah.
7-minute miles.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
anyway.
almost like I did the math.
And, yeah, all right. Anyway, you're doing it again. How about we do this? Let's take a break.
Okay.
We'll shift the focus from Jordan's butt. You're really gonna do this. You're really gonna do you're
They
committed.
haven't won the game yet.
But we want to put it on the record that if we don't want them to back out next week. We don't want them to do that. Jordan, you're really committed. Jordan, hello. You're really committed. You're really. All right, you got to turn your microphone is off currently. Jordan's got to produce the show next week. Your microphone's still off.
There we go.
You can hear that in your
Yes,
headphones.
I know.
That
I was
you're
like,
not saying
I'm reading-
anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very worried. Oh, I'm so worried. Jordan's got to produce. Paul's out a couple days
thank
next
you.
week. Jordan's
good
got to.
for him.
Jordan's got. What's good for him?
What are you getting, a new tattoo?
No, I'm playing in the baseball tournament in Fort Myers Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, tough life. Real tough life. The rest of us are stuck
Baseball
here.
tournament in Fort Myers. My pulse just jumped.
It's
I'm
fun.
so excited.
Well, you
played
got
at,
you got a Florida. I feel like you live in Florida any longer. I feel like
I
you're.
do okay.
Yeah, you do
I
okay.
do okay.
They let
Well,
us play on the spring training field, so we played at the Twins
Oh,
complex.
nice.
I actually was a starting pitcher at JetBlue Park.
That's
the
kind of
last
neat.
time I went down.
That's
It was
kind of
fun,
neat.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Did you get a tattoo about it?
Oh, no.
It's quite the experience.
I
It's
love
worth
baseball, but
remembering.
it's,
Yeah, you might want to commemorate that
All
with
right.
a face
got a
or a
deck
neck
of
tat like an
cards.
Iverson.
Hey,
Something.
it is semifinal day at the CIAA tournament. Games get underway just after noon. If you have not been down yet to Royal Farms Arena this week, you need to go experience it. 4 semifinals, both the women's and the men's, and then 2 championship games tomorrow at the CIAA tournament. Get your tickets right now, CIAAtournament.org. We'll come back in. We're talking some lacrosse with Booker Corrigan. He's here. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Virtual in 2021, the CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament is headed to Charm City this February 22nd through 26th. The CIAA is an event that has become a celebration of family, culture, and accomplishments that uplift and strengthen the African American community. See the excitement in person as some of the best college basketball in the country comes to Baltimore's Royal Farms Arena with the CIAA Men's and Women's Conference Tournament. Get your tickets now at CIAAtournament.org. That's CIAAtournament.org.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets with Glenn Clark and Paul Valley every Wednesday morning at 11:30. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Bruce Billick and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all the info you need and even to offer a few winners. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio and watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Glory Days Grill's winter seasonal menu is back with comfort classics like their house-made meatloaf and short rib grilled cheese. It also features the center-cut sirloin with grilled shrimp, the char-grilled pork tenderloin, grilled meatloaf sandwich, smoky thigh wings with Alabama barbecue sauce, and a Brussels and bacon appetizer. All of these items pair well with Devil's Backbone 8-point IPA or their anniversary IPA brewed by Devil's Backbone. And try their seasonal cocktails, Blood Orange Bourbon Cider, Apple Ginger Mule, and Captain's Hot Cider. Find out more and get your order in today at glorydaysgrill.com. Great food, good sports.
It's another cold winter here in Baltimore, but Hi, I'm Paul Valley, and while there may be no activity in the world of baseball, I'll still be here every week with my co-host Zach Goodman to give you all the latest in the CBA negotiations as teams look to get back on the field in time for spring training. You can watch us live every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or facebook.com/PressBoxSports and listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon for the latest in baseball coverage right here on the Bat Around.
We can't imagine why you'd want to, but you can watch GCR live. It's at facebook.com/PressBoxSports and try to guess whether these guys are wearing any pants.
All right, Booker Corrigan is here with us on a Friday edition of the program. Today's show also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. You know how much I love the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. 51 self-service kiosks for you to go get your bets in, and they're open 24/7, so whatever it is that you want to bet on. If you want to bet on a highlight match that's happening in Indonesia at 4 in the morning.
I got money on that one, by the way.
Who do you got? Who you like?
Yeah, the home team.
The home, yeah. you always love chalk, Booker. You never take a risk. God, if that's what you're into, you can bet on it. You can be there. You can bet on it in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. And right now, if you sign up for Live Rewards, you can win your share of $10,000 cash.
I want to spend the night at Live Casino. In the hotel,
dude. You want to make a night out of it?
Yeah.
You want to maybe make a boys trip down?
Yeah,
we can maybe take the whole gang.
Actually, I was thinking more along the lines of my fiance.
Nope. Sorry. We would allow Cass, but that'd be the only. Yeah. That's the only girl allowed. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My Mrs. Clark's not going to come. Mrs. Valley's not coming. We're doing a boys. We're doing this. We're doing a boys trip. We're eating wings. We're being messy. We're being boys.
Let's go gamble.
We're getting butt tattoos. We're doing the whole thing. That's going to be our boys trip.
My friends actually have a saying. So, because we've got our weekly poker games, and at each one of them, before we start, our guy who keeps track of the money, he always goes, he's like, no gamble, no future.
What?
So
what does that mean?
If you don't gamble, you don't have a future. You gotta scared money don't make money.
Well, that I've heard that. All right, fair enough. I'm not. This is
no gamble.
This is 21.
Future.
He's 21, man.
Do me a favor. I have a son who's 21. I don't need him to meet that guy. My son's living his best life.
Yeah. Keep him away.
He's growing into the best version of himself. He does not need to start gambling, and he doesn't. So.
All right, Live Casino and Hotel. Get sign up for Live Rewards by March 31st because the cash drawing is April 1st. All right, Booker, you guys. So the game is tomorrow.
The game is Saturday at noon. It's on UnderArmourLacrosse.com/watch. It's $12. It's 5 clicks. It's simple to sign up. Our cameramen will be there. We'll be doing the game from a studio in Elkridge. Fabulous day. Duke, as you know, unbelievable team. Somehow tripped up against Jacksonville, and then Penn lost to Georgetown last weekend, but they are a star-studded top 10 team.
Obviously, what a weird year it is with the Ivy League coming back and players having departed and gone elsewhere over the last couple of years, and just sort of a strange scenario as they reintroduce themselves.
The third leading scorer for Duke's team, Sean Lally, is a former Penn player.
They're everywhere. Yeah. Like all these Ivy League guys ended up all over the country. And by the way, this Penn and Harvard and Yale and Cornell and Princeton. I mean, they're going to get plenty of. It's not like they're going to ever have any problems attracting. players to go there. Would you want the opportunity to play lacrosse at Penn? Like, yeah, maybe I would consider such a thing.
Or any of those schools.
Yes, correct.
Fabulous
Literally
places
all of them.
with great alumni networks. And let's be honest, you play college lacrosse to build relationships.
You and your brother doing the game together?
Yes, should be fun. First time two brothers have done a top 10 matchup.
Well, how about that? Look at you making a
Yeah.
history. Making a
Yeah.
little history tomorrow.
History that only our mom cares about.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and then what is the chances you end up getting into like a wrestling match somewhere in the middle of the second quarter of the broadcast?
Years ago, no, I think we're going to trade some barbs at some, just throughout the course of the game. It's going to be fun, but it's also going to be great lacrosse, and we're going to bring a great event to them. We got 3 or 4 camera people up there, but we'll be in a studio, so it'll be interesting, and the weather is going to be very conducive to watching the game on TV.
Can you share?
23 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's a great game to skip.
Yeah.
That's a great game.
Great
not
game
not
to
to,
watch
not
on
to skip
TV.
on
Yeah.
a great game to skip going in person and instead stay home and watch the game again. UnderArmourLacrosse.com/watch. Everybody
Yep.
knows that's the place to go. What can we talk about? Like the most awkward scenario you've ever had working with someone? Is it something we can talk about, or would you say, for political reasons, I can't bring that up?
No, there's some there. I've had some where I'll quote a movie line or a song lyric, and they'll respond very positively.
Right.
And then I have others where I do high school games, and the person I do the games with just doesn't.
Yeah, well, I get that.
even get it.
I
Has
work with
no
I work
idea
with
what
two
was just said.
20-year-olds, so imagine imagine
Yeah, so
how
you
many
drop a
times
reference.
I'm entertaining no one. Like I'm just getting crickets. I'm looking around the room and I'm getting nothing but blank stares.
Yeah, that's a comfortable feeling.
Yeah, right. It feels really good. Like, all right, you guys, you weren't a lot. But neither one of these two have seen There's Something About Mary.
No.
We had an incident one morning where I was taking my coat, my nice pea coat off, and the zipper was stuck. And it was
Oh, God.
I was doing a
Is
Franks
that
and
the Franks and the Beans?
I was doing a Franks and Beans
and
reference,
Beans,
and I look
Franks and
around
Beans.
I look around the room. I think I indeed blurted out, "How'd you get the beans above the Frank?" Like I think that I
Is that the
legitimately
Franks?
blurted that
Or is that
out,
the Beans?
and I looked around the room and just nothing.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh God, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live in this place."
Something
That's
about Mary.
very-
It's a good watch.
And by the way, ask him. This was a month ago, and I required both of them to watch it. Ask him if either one of them has spent any
No,
time
don't
with this.
even need
Something.
to ask.
There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
chance.
No homework
Zero. But they could tell you everything going on with Pete Davidson today.
Right, so now
they could literally name to you everything that he did. They won't
He-
spend
he-
an hour and a half viewing an American classic. There's
Yeah.
Something About
Pete,
Mary.
Pete Davidson, I believe, is one of the young Utes today.
Thank you. I'm sure. I knew he was coming up in the program. I knew that was going to happen.
I'm not really big on Pete Davidson.
He's
hard
a
to
fu-
do.
he's
this
funny.
SNL guy, right?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
funny. I do think he's funny, but like we treat him as though he is, God.
He's
like
not
we,
Eddie
we-
Murphy funny.
No, he's not. Of course, he's not
He's
Eddie
not
Murphy
Robin
funny.
Williams funny. He's just
It's not Robin Williams
Yeah.
funny, no, but he's funny. I like Pete Davidson,
Recency bias.
but he does not deserve the amount of attention that he gets.
these two. give him.
It's like he's the center of the universe.
Yeah.
It's
Although
unbelievable.
I feel like there's a battle line being drawn.
Did
It's us
you see what
against
Cass
you.
did?
You
by
want to
the-
come at me right now?
Yeah.
You want to come at
Yeah.
me? Yeah, you better get
Yeah.
a blender that works because you're
Yeah.
gonna.
Wow,
kidding.
I don't know what that was at all. The hell is going on in
I'm
here?
drawing the line.
The hell is happening?
Hey, we got UVA Syracuse this weekend, which is going to be
Oh.
sick because Syracuse needs to find where they.
When
get
you say
Barry-
we've got that, you're just saying it's a game that's coming up.
That's
You're not
another game that's coming up. That's
Right.
going to be good. Maryland Princeton doesn't strike me as a tight one. I think
Not
Maryland's going
likely.
to flex their muscles on that
I'm
one.
I'm nervous about Loyola. I've got Loyola Rutgers tomorrow, right?
Ooh, I know.
I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. Rutgers is 4-0. They just took care of Army last week. Loyola's gotten off to a rough start.
Yep.
It's one thing to lose to Maryland. Like, come on, man.
But it's
you know?
not a Patriot League game.
It's not so it's not the end of the world. I don't disagree with it. But at some point, if they're going to be a team that's capable of making, I think coming into the year, Loyola was after last year and that kind of amazing run they put together at the end of the year,
Yep.
and knowing how much they had coming back, there was a lot of a quiet. This could be the team that gets back to championship weekend.
Right.
Yes, we knew that it was a very top-heavy. College lacrosse was very top-heavy coming into the season. They were like Loyola was really good and wasn't even a top 5 team coming into the season,
Sure.
right? But they got blitzed. They got run off the field down at Maryland. And then
Yeah.
I think Hopkins is better than they were a year ago. Like, I do think they're better,
Yeah.
but I didn't think that was a game that Loyola should have lost last weekend. That's a concerning.
So the comfort that I find in Loyola lacrosse, and I don't want to come off as cheesy, but
they can coach.
Charlie
right.
Toomey is one of the greatest guys in the sport.
Right.
And he and Matty Dwan know what they're doing. They know how to manage the team and temper their expectations, build them up a little bit because they need it. They'll chop them down a little bit if they need to be chopped down. But win the Patriot League, get the AQ, and play good lacrosse.
I do think you want to give yourself a backup path, though, because the Patriot League is not.
The backup path's shut down. It's like 83
You
North
say
right
that, but
now.
we thought that
It's
a
like
year.
83
We
North
thought
right
that a year ago, and then they got that win over Georgetown at the end of the year, and the Patriot League ended up being good enough that like beating Navy and getting those wins at the end of the year was enough to get them in. And I do agree with you. The best path in is by winning the Patriot League, of course. But
getting the AQ.
But of course, obviously, that's the best way. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Your most likely chance of making the NCAA tournament is if you qualify for the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Sports guy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
They're down by one. If they score here, they'll tie it.
That's exactly right.
My mom and I always like.
But
to
you know what?
text
Though, hang on a second. This bothers me. People get super mad about things that come off as obvious from play-by-play guys, right? Like Twitter will erupt over, oh yeah, this is a big spot in the game. Really, you really think this is a big spot in the
30
game?
30 seconds left in a tie game. This is a big moment
because they want to prove how smart they are, and they forget that we, as play-by-play people, are instructed to broadcast to the idiots.
Yep.
Are instructed to broadcast to maybe somebody who's never watched the sport before.
And bring them up to speed. So the other thing is you got the guy who's been turning channels, so you want to bring them up to speed. But, yes, it is a little bit tough when you say this is a big moment right here, 30 seconds in a tie game.
I get it. It comes off.
4th and 1. They really need to convert
It comes off as obvious, but
Yes.
the point is you have to broadcast the obvious. We do this all the time, right, where I realize that I'm talking about somebody and that I know who that person is, but not everybody does know who that person is, right? Like if I bring up, we were talking about Towson basketball in the last segment. If I mention Charles Thompson, who's been a stud, who has been an absolute rock star in conference play for Towson basketball, and I go on about Charles Thompson, I know who that is. Old Jordan knows who that is, but Papa Cass certainly does not. Paul might know at this point who he is, but didn't 2 weeks ago. Still doesn't. And if I'm doing a Towson, if I'm Spiro Marikis,
I love him.
Spiro's the best. I love Spiro. Don't get me wrong. Love Spiro. He's a regular guest here. But I've got to explain. We have an obligation still to explain these things and not assume that the entirety of the audience is all people who know everything. And I get it. We think like when we're watching an NFL game, this is the NFL that we're talking about. Everybody knows everything. That's not true. There are people that tune into NFL games that don't watch week in and week out, and you still have to explain to those people why a moment matters. You still have to explain that to people.
And also bring them up to speed. Like Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick, came out of Michigan.
Right.
There's no harm in that. Even though 95% of
we
people know it.
It's so cool to dunk on the internet. Oh, yeah, you're going to tell us that Julius Peppers play basketball? Boy, nobody's ever heard that before. Right. We get it. We understand that you know. The job is not to broadcast to you. The job is to broadcast to everyone. Everyone who might be tuning in.
I fully agree. I mean, one of my friends, we were trying to get him into football for the first time this year. He's like 21.
I've got questions about how someone's 21 and has never been into football.
So this is one of the analogies when we do our conference calls for ESPN. They say, how many times watching a college football game have you heard them say, in college, you only need to get 1 foot inbounds on a catch. In pros, you have to get 2 feet inbounds.
Yep.
Like that, it's almost every game. So don't feel like stating the obvious is bad. You're just reminding people.
Because somebody doesn't know.
Yep.
Somebody is watching your broadcast that doesn't know that.
Yep.
And you think
Or you
everyone
need to be
knows.
reminded.
Right, because you know what? I forgot it. This is a straight shoot. The other night, I was doing Stevenson women's basketball at a playoff game. And they unfortunately surrendered the lead with 0.1 seconds left.
Oh.
And I said, well, they don't have somebody that can throw a length of the floor pass in order to get. I completely, in that moment, just blanked on the fact that 2 years ago the rules changed, and in women's basketball, if you take a timeout, you can advance the ball like you can in the NBA.
No kidding.
I utterly forgot about that. The broadcaster, that's on me.
Yeah.
I screwed that up. So I'm like, well, I just don't think anybody, has got the home run pass to get it because, 0.1 seconds is not enough. That they won't allow you to shoot the ball. You have to tip it in. If it's anything under 0.4, a shot cannot count. It must be a tip. 0.4, you have to have 0.4. In basketball, you have to have 0.4 seconds on the clock for them to be willing to allow a shot to count.
Love it.
But in that moment, I just plainly forgot about it.
So they advanced the ball.
They advanced the ball, and they
of course
tried.
They
and
won.
Unfortunately, it would have been an amazing moment. It would have been incredible from your boy because it probably would have been on the internet a little bit, but it did not happen. Alas, it's what it is. But that's these things that we take for granted. Everybody knows this. I call the games, and I forgot about that. And I'm the broadcaster.
It happens.
It happens 100%.
Hey, back to lacrosse.
Yes.
Carolina.
Booker Corrigan is here in studio with us. Yes.
Carolina Hopkins.
And after Hopkins, got a big win last week.
Yeah, nice win over Loyola. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves because Carolina and Hopkins are both treading water in the top 20, should be in the top 10. They might be becoming the best version of their own team. But Ohio State certainly put Carolina in their place last weekend.
Yes. Oh,
to the
did
tune of
they ever?
20-8.
Holy smokes. That was stunning.
I didn't see that coming.
No.
And that's
in
why
any
I don't
world
bet
did I
on
see that
sports
coming.
because I would have bet on Carolina in that one. And
I have lost a lot of money on good old underdog.
Oh, yeah, Underdog Fantasy Football, which we think you should play despite the fact that Jordan is struggling. Yeah, Jordan's not had a good run of it on Underdog Fantasy Football, but you'll still have
not helping
fun.
that flight to San Diego.
Yeah, not great. Well, don't worry. That's why he's got that $50 from Booker in order to get him there.
Yeah.
You can get on Spirit for $50, can't you? You can get
There's
on
some
something.
airlines. Yeah.
Anyway, Underdog Fantasy Football, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the code PressBox. When you make your first deposit, we'll match it up to $100 for you to play Underdog Fantasy Football, player props, parlays, things that make you feel like you're betting despite the fact you can't bet on your phone quite yet here in the state of Maryland. Anyway, that's another good one. What else is coming up this weekend? What else is on the docket?
Georgetown, Notre Dame.
Georgetown's legit, man. Georgetown is
so is Notre
100%
Dame.
legit.
I think that's a good game.
But Notre Dame's been legit for a little while. Georgetown danced with it a year ago, right? Like they started to move in. I am buying into them as a legitimate title threat this year.
Agreed.
An actual, I'm not saying they will, but they could.
There's great young coaches in the game. There's great old coaches in the game, too. Kevin Warren, the head coach at Georgetown, fabulous man, great coach, and he's also one of the funniest people I've ever met. So you combine all those things together. The kids at Georgetown are loving their springtime, and they're going to find a way to excel. I don't know how they're going to do out at Notre Dame this weekend. That could be tough. They might be inside, which is a huge advantage for the Irish.
Do you want to do a draft?
Oh my God, yes.
You want to do a draft?
Goodness, yes, I apologize, Mom.
Hang on a second. We should do a draft. But because we had this problem. Wait a second. I don't remember what happened last year.
Last year was COVID.
No, 2 years ago was COVID. Last year we had a Final Four.
I had Virginia.
I think Kyle lost last year, didn't he?
Yeah. KO.
And then he quit.
Rather than run.
He quit.
The problem is the bet. If I ever lose,
you can't do it. But we had come up with a plan for that. Yeah. You were going to run to Towson, weren't you? Wasn't that the plan? Is that we're going to have you run from here to United Stadium, and we figured out
that would lap, and shake Sean Nadlin's hand, and
correct.
Then come back.
And then that was what we were going to do to make up for it, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I was going to somehow little Jordan was going to pick me up.
And then if I lost, I was going to get a butt tattoo. I believe is how it went. I'm pretty sure that was how our bet was going to go. So do you want to do a draft?
My goodness, yes. It's fun.
I do agree that it's fun. Jordan, you in?
Yeah.
Okay. How long can you stay today?
As long as I like. I got.
Tino Ellis is going to join us at 11:15. Can you stick around? Former Maryland cornerback, Reisterstown native. He just got drafted in the USFL this week. So we're going to talk to Tino Ellis here in a couple of minutes.
Love it.
Would you stick around?
Yes.
And we can do the draft after that?
Sure.
All right, so here's what we do, Jordan. We're going to draft lacrosse teams. We got a point system. All right? Get a national champion, you get 10 points. You get the runner-up, you get 8 points. Final Four, 5 points. That's it. End of list. All right?
All right. Am I allowed to check the standings?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
We always allow Kyle to.
Right now, I only know the teams that have brutally beaten Towson.
Fewest points has to run the Baltimore 10-miler. What's the date for the Baltimore 10-miler?
June 4th.
June 4th. if you get an ass tattoo, you've got to run it in a Speedo.
Done.
Is that okay? Are you allowed to do that in the Baltimore 10 miler?
Yeah. I'd love to see it.
It'll be a Maryland flag Speedo
You
too.
I
Why
love
not?
that. I
Why
love
not?
that.
You definitely want to go with the Derek Smalls approach to how you wear your tattoo. And I know you don't know who Derek Smalls is.
I do not.
Of course, come on,
Spinal
man.
Tap.
Come on, man. You think he knows?
Going
Stop.
through the airport security. It involves aluminum foil.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
I'm-
What? All right. Stop.
Can I just note that Papa Cass doesn't know something about Mary, but knows who Spinal Tap
You
is?
what? You've seen this is Spinal Tap? Oh my God! What is the?
Props to your dad.
What is
Props to your dad.
That's great, by the way. I'm a big fan of that. But
David St. Hubbins. Yeah.
all right, so that's the deal. With 3 of us will draft. You're on the same thing for you. You lose. You got to pick a day, and you don't get to say I live in Florida now. I'm out. You don't get to do that.
I'm so gonna. Yeah.
How are you coming back up for the 10 miler?
Of course.
You're working it.
Yeah.
So the day before,
The day after, because the day before we're setting up all day.
Monday. Do you stick around? Do you stay in town until Monday?
Yeah.
Monday, you'll stop by the studio.
Yep.
Launch your run, and you will run to Towson University.
Perfect.
All right. Nobody's weaseling out of this one. Nobody's saying I'm going to a wedding in Cartagena or something like that. I feel like Kyle tried to weasel out of this in some sort of way. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you? You're the only man who's done enough personal integrity to actually
I've
run
I've run so many things you had me run.
And you loved it.
My God! At some point, I don't even think it was a bet. You just said you're running this thing on Sunday, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll be there. Like that's the way that it went. It was the coldest day of the year. You got me to run in like 20-degree temperatures in Annapolis and 100-degree temperatures in Baltimore.
And you loved it.
About the running festival though, running that day, it was actually super pleasant. It was like one of the most pleasant weather experiences I've ever had. That was a great day to run. We're in 10 miler. Loser of the draft runs the 10 miler.
In.
All right.
In.
By the way,
Cass, you want in?
11. Make a wish.
Oh, what? What?
She's in.
No,
She's
stop
in.
it. Get in on
You're
this.
in.
Come on.
That's fine. Who
All you're
cares?
doing
You
is
can look
picking
up.
teams. You don't even know they might not even
You
make
can
it.
look up the rankings right now.
My girlfriend played the fraternity March Madness bracket versus all the guys last year. Pick schools based off logo. She beat everyone in the bracket and won the jackpot. She won like $300.
You got this. You got this. Paul, you want in?
Yeah.
Paul, you in?
I already know for a fact I'm not in town on the 4th of June.
Oh, get the F out of here with that. Get out of here. Well, I'm angry about it. I need to convey that.
seem
I'm
very
angry
upset.
about
I
it.
really want to pick, but
All right.
I know I'm
So the 4 of us will pick. The 4 of us. Cass is in. You stay in. Are you in town on June 4th?
I am.
Or you go back? No, not her. She goes back to. She lives in Virginia.
Either way, I'll come up.
All right, she'll come up for it. All right, great. All right, so Cass is in.
Yeah.
Cass is in. The 4 of us are going to draft. Snake draft. We'll give Cass the first pick.
Okay. Who are you taking?
No, not yet. We're not doing it yet. We're not doing it yet. Cass will get the first pick. Jordan,
Wait.
Do you want the second pick or do you want to be
Wait.
the snake? What? Don't.
June 4th.
Don't.
I'm in San Diego.
What are you doing in San Diego?
We
You won't go to San Diego for the NCAA tournament, but you're going to San Diego?
my parents got us surprised me and my brother with graduation presents, and we're gonna go to an Angels game. We're gonna go to a Padres game.
How do we?
We're gonna go to a Dodgers
Hang
game.
on a
We're just
second.
gonna
Hang on a second. Can he delay his punishment? Can we have him run in the?
I would
Hang
gladly.
on a
Yeah.
second. Booker? Can we have him run in the running festival instead?
Yeah.
Half
Yeah, you do the half.
marathon.
Yeah, you got to do the half.
You got to do the half.
Sorry, buddy.
It's 3 more
Sorry,
miles.
buddy.
You lose.
I'm
We wait.
I'll
It'll
take
be
it.
in the fall. It'll be do we know the date for the running festival yet?
October 15th.
October
I'm here.
15th.
I've got nothing right now.
So I lose. I run in the 10 mile. Papa Cass and I lose. We run in the 10 miler. Booker loses. He runs to Towson. You lose. You run the half marathon in a Speedo.
Done.
If you've got the ass tattoo.
Yes. Yes.
If not,
yes.
I don't need to. We
Okay.
don't need to do
Yeah,
it just for
yeah.
the sake of doing it. But if you get the ass tattoo, you run in the Speedo.
Done.
What is this show? This is the dumbest show. This is such a dumb
I have that
show.
effect on a lot of things.
Yeah, right. All right, when we come back in, Tino Ellis is going to join us. Then Booker's going to hang around. Because, don't forget Duke Yale tomorrow, 12 o'clock.
Duke Penn.
Duke-
A lot of people pronounce it Penn.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
it's
that was
okay.
bad.
That's
What
fine.
a bad. That was awful.
It's
Oh,
noon, and
I'm
it's
sorry.
got 2 top 10 teams. 2
Yeah, it's huge
sick
matchup.
teams.
Huge matchup. UnderArmour.com, UnderArmourLacrosse.com. Facebook.com/watch.
Yep.
That's how you find it.
Sam Hanley, number 26 for Penn.
I had that.
Stud.
I had it all along. You know I had it all along. Come back in. Today's show also brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals and new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
The newest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball's 2002 NCAA Tournament Championship, as Gary Williams reflects on how the program rose from the ashes of NCAA sanctions to the pinnacle of the sport, and why his perspective of the title run has changed now 2 decades later. Plus, Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, and the rest of the team relive the moments that ultimately led them to cutting down the nets in Atlanta. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farms stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
The biggest pro wrestling stars today and all time all have one thing in common. You've heard them on Jobbing Out.
Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
The great Kurt Angle.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.
The champ, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, thank you for having me.
The great Ron Simmons.
Damn.
Keith Lee.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Bill Goldberg.
My pleasure.
Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mick Foley is with us.
This is the greatest name for a wrestling show I've ever heard.
MJF.
I'm glad you're happy I'm on this show because I'm freaking miserable.
No.
Le champion.
Chris Jericho.
Le champion.
AJ, Aaron, Brandon, and Glenn are talking pro wrestling every week on Jobbing Out. Find it at PressBoxOnline.com/radio, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
Stay tuned. Your chance to win $1 million is coming up. Probably not from us. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
All right, back in here on GCR. Smoky thigh wings at Glory Days Grill are everything I tell you they are. They are perfection. Get over to your neighborhood Glory Days Grill today. Put your order in at glorydaysgrill.com. Look, the burgers, the wings, everything's great, but the smoky thigh wings will make you say, I never need anything else again. They're that good. Glory Days Grill, glorydaysgrill.com. Booker Corrigan's in studio with us. We're going to do our draft here in just a couple of minutes. We got a lot at stake for this draft, but before we do that, speaking of drafts, our next guest just heard his name in the USFL draft this past week. He is a Reisterstown native. He is, of course, a former Terp. It's a pleasure to welcome back into the program Tino Ellis, who's with us now here on GCR. Tino, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to catch up with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. It's good to hear your voice. Let's get caught up, right? You find out that the USFL is a thing that's happening. Did you immediately know, I want to be a part of that, or was it something that you had to think about a little bit?
It was something I definitely had to think about because I had other options such as the CFL, and I also could have waited, to wait to get signed back to the NFL roster.
Right.
So I really did some research, looked into it, and it's a new upcoming league, and it had some history back in the day in the 80s and stuff with Herschel Walker, like one of the first people being drafted and stuff. And I did some research. So that's when I made my decision. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. It's in the spring. And also the partnership with Fox also made it, a great move as well.
Not a bad thing that your friends and family are gonna get to watch you play no matter where they are, right? Like that can't hurt. Tino, of course, I know you spent time with the Dolphins, and we know that you've gotten that taste. Is part of this trying to figure out what your best path is to making sure you make a roster in the fall? And do you feel like playing, you point out like you could wait to be signed again, do you feel like playing and putting more on film is going to help you in that path back to an NFL roster?
Yes, definitely. I didn't have the opportunity my rookie year to have a preseason, which really hurt me because of COVID in 2020 when I first time with the Saints. So, I wasn't able to get film with them. Then with the Miami Dolphins, they switched my position to safety, and I wasn't playing corner, so it was like a new feel for me, and I was trying to get acclimated with the new position of making the calls and everything like that. So I feel like, me being drafted as a corner and, has being a priority to this team, the Michigan Panthers, I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to get some film as a starter, show what I can do and go from there.
He is Tino Ellis. He is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. As he mentioned, drafted by the Michigan Panthers in the USFL draft this year. Tino, any concern at all? I know that the XFL thing was unique because, of course, a pandemic hit, but the year before that, there was the Alliance, and they didn't make it through to the end of the year. Did that leave you any amount of trepidation about joining another league, knowing that not every league has succeeded, and literally some have not made it through their first season? Did that leave you any amount of nerves in making a move like this?
Yeah, definitely, because you do the research, you look at some of the leagues that happened in the past and they never finished, but I just feel like it's the perfect opportunity. I couldn't pass up on an opportunity and wait for an NFL team or wait to go to the CFL or go up north, So I just feel like this is just a perfect opportunity for me to get my film and showcase my skills, on a national level.
I completely understand that, man. And certainly, we saw a lot of guys from both those leagues that were able to parlay the success they had, even a short amount of time, into getting NFL opportunities. I assume that's something that you had to think about, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Did you know any of those guys? Like, I know Kayvon had Kayvon Walker had a pretty good season in one of those leagues. Did you know was anybody that you talked to in making a decision like this?
I really haven't reached out to anybody to make the decision. I've been in contact with my agent and, just talked to some of my family and some of my friends about the decision. And we just feel like it's the best opportunity for me. And plus, just the coaches that are in the league.
Yeah,
Fisher.
That's pretty big, right? Like that was where I was going to go next. Like this is a guy that's coaching a Super Bowl. Like this is a dude that coached Steve McNair and Eddie George and Derek Mason. How exciting is it for you to know that your head coach is going to be, frankly, one of the more accomplished coaches in football history?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to work with, Coach Fisher and pick his brain about football and just to learn from a great head coach and also the coaching staff. I know he's going to put a great coaching staff together. I haven't really, met any of the other coaches and stuff like that, but I know it's going to be a great opportunity, and I just can't wait. I'm enthusiastic to work with him.
That's such a big deal, man. Like that's an incredible opportunity to have to work with somebody like that. Tino Ellis with us here on GCR. Hey, Tino, what did it mean to you to see what Maryland did this year and breaking through finally, getting back to a bowl game, obviously spanking Virginia Tech in that bowl game, and maybe kind of rewriting the trajectory of Maryland football that we had all hoped was going to happen as Mike Locksley came back?
It meant a lot to me, to see the guys, to win that bowl game and have that opportunity. It was always something I wanted, when I was at Maryland, and just to see those guys do that and, see the success on the field and see Coach Mike, turn the program around and do what he does, man, it just made me happy as an alumni. I was proud.
Did you know, obviously you got to know Coach a little bit. Like, did you know it was only going to take a little bit of time before he was able to get all the guys he wanted here and that Maryland football was going to be back on the right path?
Yeah, I definitely felt like, he had what it takes to turn a program around, and he's a great recruiter. So, that's what he does. He's like the godfather of D&B. So I know, he was going to bring in the guys that needed to come in and produce on the field. I had no question about that at all.
It's been awesome to see it happen, and it helps when you get a quarterback, right? Like, it certainly it makes life a little bit easier. There's only so much everybody else can do. It's nice when you have a quarterback, and obviously Leah, boy, in moments you're like, my God, this kid is unbelievable, right?
Yeah, he's definitely unbelievable. I was actually, when I was in Miami, Tua used to
Oh,
talk to
right,
me about
yeah.
like, Maryland. Yeah. Tua would come to me in the locker room and stuff and ask me about Maryland and stuff. He's like, is he gonna be in a good spot, in a good situation? I was like, yeah, man, like Maryland's definitely like the great place for him, and he already had a pre-existing relationship with Lashley because both of them was at Alabama with him. So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a perfect fit, and we got the skill guys that that can compete in the Big Ten. All we just need is the quarterback, and we got him.
That's really cool, man. That is really, really cool. What else is going on in your world, Tino? Like, what are you just constantly working out? Is that like life for somebody that's in your shoes? Like, you just have to work out every day, like you're getting ready to play a football game the next day?
Yeah, it's preparing for the unexpected. I've been training for these past couple months and just trying to stay mentally in shape and physically in shape. It's more mental than really physical because you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you're training for, so you just have to stay ready, stay positive, stay enthusiastic about the situation that you're in, and just know you have to be ready. Is
it difficult at all? Do you ever like go through moments where you wonder? I'll give an example. You mentioned Miami. My buddy AJ Francis, who played at Maryland years ago, was a guy who after a while was like, I'm just sick of this game. I'm sick of waiting for a phone call and I'm ready to just sort of move on. Do you ever have feelings like that where you're like, dude, I don't want to wait any longer. I know what I can do, and I'm sick of you not seeing what I can do. Do you ever have feelings like that?
I mean, honestly, because I'm young, like I don't have that,
Sure.
Those thoughts. I'm hungry. I'm just ready for my next opportunity, and I want to showcase the world what I can do, at my position and with a great opportunity, and healthy. So like, I never doubted, this whole process of waiting, just being ready. I just train every day, hope for the best and just stay mentally and physically prepared and ready to go.
And now you got a great opportunity, obviously, being a part of the USFL with the Michigan Panthers as the season gets underway. Tino, social media, what can we plug for you? Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tino Ellis.
Give him a follow there. Man, we can't wait to see this. Happy for you and rooting like hell for this to be your opportunity to jump right back and be on a roster. Who knows? What the hell? Maybe it's back here in Baltimore, man. Could you even imagine that, by the way? Could you imagine if this led you to an opportunity to come back to Baltimore at some point in the future? Holy crap, what a story that would be.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, right. I know you'd be just as excited to go to Seattle, though. I understand the way that it works. Get me anywhere. Hey, yeah, I get it, dude. It's the way it works, right? Like, you got to tell us you'd be excited to go to Pittsburgh. I understand that. We would not be as excited about that, but I understand where you're coming from. Hey, Tino, appreciate you, man. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you as the USFL season gets underway here in a little bit. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
No problem. Thank you for the support.
Absolutely, man. Tino Ellis, the former Terp, Reisterstown native, hopping on here with us on a Friday on GCR. All right, so we need to switch. Paul, I need to let Cass come over and sit in your seat for this next segment. But I need Booker's microphone back on. Need to. Got to do Jordan.
Little Jordan.
Yeah.
This aggression, man, will not stand.
Yeah, correct.
This
all
aggression
right?
will not stand, dude. You've never seen The Big Lebowski.
And of course, he hasn't seen. Why do you ask these questions? You know the answer to them. You know you're going to be disappointed.
Any good lawyer, right? My friend Aaron Murphy. Bless up to Judge Joe Murphy, by the way. Love you, guy. Going through some health stuff. But Aaron Murphy, great lawyer. You don't ask a question that you don't already know the answer to.
Fair enough.
You might lead your witness
fair
down
enough.
a path to
fair
prove
enough,
your
right?
client's
You're going to
guilt.
learn something. All right, fair enough. So here's how we're going to do this. All four of us are going to make picks in this draft. All we're doing is drafting teams. If your team wins the title, did we ever in the past we just say you're safe?
Do it. We used
Let's get this right.
Do it actually after the tournament field was announced.
Yeah, but this is more fun. This is more fun. It's all over the place.
I agree.
And plus, we got 4 people drafting this year, so we need more teams. We need more teams. We need more teams in play.
LJ.
Yeah. So
LJ and Mama Cass.
Papa Cass.
Papa Cass.
Papa Cass, because she's her house father. at with her roommates. She's the house dad. So we went with Papa Cass instead of Mama Cass. Plus, Mama Cass met an untimely end, and we're not hoping the same for Papa Cass.
Can I get you a sandwich?
No. Not okay.
Some of the viewers liked it.
Not okay.
Come on.
So if you pick the champion, are you safe? We'd have to. Even our mathematical equation, you have to be safe.
Mathematically, and I think you also should get 2 points if your team makes the field.
Oh God, you're making this complicated.
It's not that complicated.
All right, so here's what we're doing: 10 points for the champion. 8 points.
I can't even see. I can't even get online.
We're gonna do 8 points for the runner-up. We're gonna do 5 points for the final four, and then 2 points just for getting the team in the tournament. Correct? That's what we're agreeing to, Booker?
Yes.
Do you guys want to educate Papa Cass on the fact that there's multiple lacrosse polls? Because her poll is different than mine.
If you got a poll, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Yes. As long as it's. Let me see the poll you're working with. Let me see it. Hang on a second. Let me see what you're. This is last year's poll, so no, this would not be okay. She has got an old. Yeah, Jordan was trying to. Jordan was trying to screw you.
Trying to sabotage.
Yeah, Jordan was trying to lead you astray here. No, your poll would not be a good poll to work with because it is definitely not an accurate, up-to-date poll.
And let's remember that in 2012, Loyola was unranked to start
That's right.
the season, and
That's
they won
right.
the national championship.
They won the national title.
15-1, 19-1, I think.
That's correct. They beat Duke.
Only loss was to Johns Hopkins at home in overtime.
Right. That's right.
I'm a fool when it comes to national. Say any year, I'll tell you who won the national championship between 71 and now.
Well, I mean, I know.
I should get 5 points for everyone I
get
right.
No, shut up. Do you know what was the trivia question yesterday? Oh, we screwed up. Paul said that the Maryland-Virginia game was this week. It's obviously not this week. They announced this week that they're playing that game at Audi Field here in a few weeks, which is very cool. That'll be
on the 19th.
It's a doubleheader, right? Because Georgetown's going to play somebody. I got to double check on who it is, but it's going to be a cool doubleheader down in D.C.
Absolutely.
Do you know which schools Maryland has lost to in the national championship game multiple times? There's 2 of them.
Cornell. No, definitely once to Cornell. Who Maryland has lost to? Obviously Hopkins.
Yes, that was one I got.
And I would have to say Syracuse.
I said the same. Incorrect.
Oh, who is it?
Incorrect. You should have just gone with your gut. It was Cornell.
Okay.
It was Cornell. It's
hard. It's hard when you know everything that you have to decipher out what you think you know.
I understand.
You know.
I understand. All right. So
I understand.
Here's the math. 10 points to the champ, 8 points to the runner-up, 5 points for your team making the Final Four, 2 points for reaching the NCAA tournament. Cass will have the first pick.
And 4 points for a quarterfinal win.
Wait, I have
a first-round win.
3 points.
3 points.
3 points
if they win a game.
3 points.
What's
second
your question,
round.
Papa Cass?
Okay, so how can a team be 4-0 and then a team be 3-0, but the 3-0 team is higher up?
Because they're better.
Because they're better.
It's rankings.
Yeah.
It's,
okay.
Yeah.
It's subjective.
Okay.
It's subjective.
Totally subjective.
All right.
Okay.
Cass is going to have the first pick. Jordan, would you like the second pick, or would you want to be the snake?
I'll take second pick.
All right.
LJ.
Booker, I'm a gentleman. Would you like the third pick, or would you like to be the snake?
I'll be the snake.
You're going to be the snake. So I will have the third pick, and Booker will be the snake. All right? That's the way it's going to go. Cass, you have the first pick. With the first pick in the 2022 Glenn Clark Radio Lacrosse Draft. And by the way, again, the rule is if Cass or I loses, we got to run the Baltimore 10-miler on June 5th. You want to plug that really quickly?
It's June 4th, but it's going to be awesome.
June 4th is the day we're going to run. Yeah, that's the day we're going to run, of course.
And then I get to run something.
Duke Yale tomorrow.
Yes.
I am not.
Duke Penn.
I know it's Duke Penn. I was doing a bit that time. Yeah, that was the bit. Duke Penn tomorrow at noon. But yes, go ahead about the 10-miler.
It's unbelievable. It's really fun. You go through the zoo.
Yep.
Last year, because of COVID, Baltimore City wouldn't let us do it. We had to do it up in Hunt Valley. It was still amazing.
But are we moving back to the city this year?
Yes, we're moving back to the zoo.
I like
it's
that.
It's going to be cool.
I was very smart, and I offered to take my kids to the zoo afterwards when I literally couldn't move. I was trying to walk around the zoo, and I just needed to collapse in the heat. disaster.
You
of
had
an
a
idea.
huge smile on your face in our cell.
Oh, I love the event. Was tremendous. It was a tremendous event, and I probably had about 20 oranges afterwards.
It's one of my favorite pictures because I think I was 240 pounds in that picture.
You look great. These days. You look great.
I wasn't
these days.
fishing for that. I was just.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I send those pictures to my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Fat Booker showed up.
Yeah, right.
On my memories.
My kids like it when they see really fat pictures of me.
Yes.
They're like, "You were so fat."
You
Yeah,
were
right.
too.
I was a big fatty, 100%. We all struggle. We all still struggle. We have our
these
moments.
guys don't. They
No,
burn
yeah, they're
carbs like
fine.
nothing.
Right, they're good.
All right, with the first pick.
Hang on. So, Cass or I will run in the 10-miler.
Yep.
People can find
I'll
out
run
more
at
at.
Towson,
People can find out more by going to.
CorriganSports.com.
Thank you. If Booker loses because he's got to work the 10-miler,
Yep.
he will run that Monday, June 7th. That's the date, right? He will come here, and then he will literally run from Hamden to United Stadium. Is that we figured out that was about 10 miles, right?
Yeah,
Is that-
we can decipher
All
that
right,
later.
we'll get that
Let's
number.
Let's get the draft
And if
going.
Jordan loses, Jordan will run the half marathon
On October 15th.
October
Yeah.
15th is part of the Baltimore Running Festival.
Yeah.
He will run it, and if he gets his ass tattoo,
He has
because
to.
Towson
Yeah.
wins their first round matchup, he will run the half marathon in a Speedo.
Yes.
All right? Very good. First pick in the draft.
Wow.
Cass.
I choose Maryland.
They're very good.
Shocking.
Probably a good choice. That's chalk. Lame.
I like where this is going.
All right.
I could just follow in order, but I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna read the rankings.
No,
This is what we're gonna do.
I'm-
We are literally
I'm gonna-
just gonna read the rankings.
I'm gonna go Rutgers.
Rutgers, who comes to Loyola tomorrow. They're 4-0 to start the season. They're the only 4-0 team in the country so far. Got a big win over.
Jordan is so close to running the Baltimore half marathon right now.
Yeah.
After
That's his
one
first
pick.
round pick. His first round pick was. I like it. I like it. That's bold.
Gutsy.
Bold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna revert back to chalk because you literally left the 2-time defending national champions on the table.
You're on UVA?
I mean, why would I? They won the last 2 national championships. Why would I not take Virginia?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Virginia is my first pick. Booker, you get 2 picks.
I'm going Duke and Notre Dame.
Okay, Duke and Notre Dame. Booker goes back to back. Homer pick.
Hey,
Homer
whoa,
pick.
Never
Homer
go against,
pick.
Never go against the family.
So they'd have no idea. They have no idea why that.
My cousin's the head coach at Notre Dame, so go ahead and say something. See
yeah.
if I don't come
yeah.
across the
Yeah.
desk.
Go ahead. Go right ahead then. Boy, I'm between 2 teams here.
I know which 2 teams.
Oh
I
my.
know which 2 teams. I'd go with Loyola. I mean,
yeah,
go with your
I know. I would feel be kind
Go
of a
with
jerk
your
if I
allegiance.
didn't pick Loyola, wouldn't I?
I can't believe you haven't said it yet.
Uh,
it took me 3 seconds to say Notre Dame and Duke.
Just because of what we saw them do last week, I'm going to take Ohio State here.
OSU.
I'm going to take Ohio State. We just saw them
Dang.
pound North Carolina.
That was gonna be my pick.
All right.
Oh, wowsy, woo woo.
Next,
All right, LJ.
Jordan.
Little
I'll
Jordan.
go.
Lil Jordan.
Like
L-I-L.
Lil
Like
Bit.
Lil Wayne or Lil John.
Or a little bit.
Yeah, correct. Any of
A
those.
little bit
I'll
to the main
go-
stage. Tick tock, tick tock.
I'll take Hopkins.
Woo. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Cross them off.
Yeah,
You're-
don't make plans for October 15th.
Yeah.
Just don't make any
All
plans.
right. We'll see.
I love you
We'll
more
see.
and more, LJ.
We'll
All right.
see. We'll
Papa
see.
Cass, you have 2.
Yes,
I say
you get the
again,
next 2
2 picks. Yes.
Okay.
You definitely want to go Villanova.
Don't lead the witness. Don't lead.
I don't know much, so I'm gonna go with Georgetown for
I
one.
think that's a very good pick, Cass. That's exactly the pick that I would make if I was in your shoes.
And then I'll go Yale.
I was waiting for her to say Yale. I was just waiting.
You went Yale? You want to change that pick?
No, settle
no
down
changing
over there.
picks. No changing
Settle
picks.
down
Is
over
that a
there.
bad pick?
No, it's not a bad pick. It's
I
not.
have Maryland,
Remember,
Georgetown.
we're doing
Time will
points for
tell.
all these other rounds too. It's not just the national
Hey,
champion
whoa,
you're trying to
hey,
get. We
whoa,
got lots of
hey,
points.
Look
on
at
the
that
table.
Rutgers. All right, LJ.
Yeah, Rutgers and Johns
Why
Hopkins
don't
is
you
his team
take
so
Rutgers
far.
again?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. That would be really wonderful.
I'm gonna go.
God, I'm not going to get a pick for like
Oh,
ever.
settle down over there, Booker. You're fine. Come on, little Jordan.
I'm looking.
It's like he's pretending like he's doing
All right.
research.
All
Like
right.
he's somehow.
I'm
he's,
studying.
Oh,
I'm
are you?
studying. I'll go. I'll go. Is Syracuse been taken? No.
Syracuse has
Doesn't
not been
They have
taken.
not.
Syracuse is available. Just lost at home to Maryland last week.
That's fun.
LJ,
All right.
Syracuse.
So, with that in mind, yikes.
Anybody to see?
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna steal him from. I'm taking Penn. I'm taking Penn here with my third pick, joining Virginia and Ohio State. I'm taking Penn. Go right ahead. Who do you got?
Oh, goodness.
2 picks.
Now, I want to make sure they're not taken yet because I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree.
Paul's
I'm
gonna have
go-
to post this, by the way, later on.
I'm going to go Denver.
Very much available. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Yale's taken.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to go UNC.
North Carolina. I thought that's what you were going to do. And I'm not going to allow this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about my strategy here for a second. Let me consider. Nah, I'm not letting it go any further. Loyola.
There you go.
Loyola is the pick. Look, I get it. Rough start to the season. Not great.
Charlie Toomey.
But they got a hell of a coach.
That's the other thing. So
They were out. They were completely out of the NCAA tournament and ended up a goal away from the Final Four a year ago.
Sure. And goaltender Schaefer.
Yeah. Well,
Star.
we've got an issue again there.
Well, I'm just saying. So you guys can think for a second, and I want to do my quick public service.
This is Booker Kuiper Jr. now, who's going to break down the draft.
Not the draft. I'm just going to tell you
Okay.
that the sport of lacrosse is blessed with so many great men who lead great programs. Like we talk about Charlie Toomey, Sean Nadalin. All these coaches are just the greatest, nicest people, and they're all striving to help the kids that they are fortunate enough to coach to become the best version of themselves. They want to win games, but they also know there's something more out there for lacrosse players.
Yes.
They're not going to end up in the NFL making, $17.3 million a year. So let's teach them how to do that at Morgan Stanley.
Oh, all right. I like this. I like this.
It's a great place to be. That's why lacrosse is.
You're trying to sell the
so-
sport, right?
No,
Trying to get
that's why
sign
we're
your
so
sign your
lucky.
kids up.
Yes, we're so lucky to have so many great coaches.
My 4-year-old is playing this spring. My 4-year-old is playing lacrosse this spring. He's
There's
playing
2 questions you ask after
the
a
little
game.
tykes.
There's 2 questions you ask him after a game.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Did you have fun with your friends?
Yep.
And were you a good teammate?
That's all I care about. That's all I care about
And then you
right
tell
now.
him, I love.
And then I
watching
tell
you
him he
play."
sucks. Then I'm like, and you got to be honest with you, you're terrible at this. Just you got to find another. You got to find a new sport. You're just not cut out for it. Sorry. It's not
Which is
true. I
fine.
would never do that. Never do that.
Hey.
All right. Back to the draft. Jordan, your 4th team.
LJ.
I'm going to go with.
What?
Oh.
She's whispering in my
Just
ear.
say, who is it?
I'll go with Michigan.
Okay. All right.
That's a good pick.
They're off to a good start. They're off to a very good start. 4-0 on the season now.
God, I have 2 teams waiting to pick, but I don't get to pick for like 7 more picks. Go ahead. All right, Mama or Papa Cass.
Okay.
Somebody really wants to get in touch with you, by the way, Booker. Somebody is relentless over
I
there.
can't say their name.
Oh boy, that's awkward. I don't know what the situation is.
Well,
Come on.
I'm thinking here.
No, you don't need to think. Just name teams.
Pop it off. Don't think. Desk pop.
I'm sorry, you don't get points if you pick Stevenson because it's a different tournament. You don't get points for that.
Although I would take Salisbury
take Stevenson.
with Salisbury.
Yeah, I would.
go with Salisbury.
I would like their chances a lot better.
I would go
Unfortunately,
Salisbury.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go Princeton.
Okay, it's fine. It's a fine pick. That's a fine pick.
You have
Cass.
another pick.
Yes.
I get one more. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Jacksonville.
Love Jacksonville.
Just beat Duke.
Johnny Galloway.
How about that?
I'm doing the Jacksonville Utah game next weekend in Jacksonville.
Oh,
so I'll
rough
bring
life.
Some,
Real rough
some
life.
sunblock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Real
Get
tough
a
man.
nice tan.
God, how do you always get these terrible assignments? Like, who hates you? That you gotta go. You gotta go to Jacksonville next weekend to call.
Not a bad
God.
place. It's not a bad place to be.
Maybe you can meet up. Paul's gonna be down in Fort Myers. Maybe you guys can meet up, have a powwow somewhere.
Jacksonville's really far.
I know they're not close, but I'm just throwing it out
Everybody
there.
thinks that the state of Florida is tiny.
No, it's very much not.
Yeah, no.
Very much not the case
Huge.
whatsoever.
Depends on whose speedo you're looking at.
Yeah,
I
right.
guess.
Yeah.
Fort Myers all the way down in southwest Florida, in fact.
All right, LJ.
I'm back up.
Yeah.
I'll take Delaware.
That's a great pick.
Bold pick. A bold pick.
Move, Cotton.
Delaware, the
Yep.
pick. All right. Well, I guess that means
one more pick.
I guess that means Cornell is still on the table.
Yep.
So Cornell will be part of Team Clark. I don't know if you've heard, but they've defeated Maryland twice in the national championship game. It's a little tidbit I wanted to throw out there. Old Glenn Kuiper Jr. over here,
So
just throwing out tidbits.
That gives me. This is tough because they're both in the same. I'm going Army.
Oh, are you going to go back to back? Are you going to do it?
No, I'm not doing Navy.
Oh, okay.
No, but they're
Well, we're
both-
getting to that point of the draft where like you're looking for somebody that's going to make a run at some point. It's going to come together and make a run.
And I should get to pick two of these because I love both these coaches. Like I keep saying.
Stop
these
with
guys
the loving. You love everybody, Booker. You haven't named anybody you don't love so far. Name somebody you don't love. Anybody at all.
I'm just gonna stick with positivity. It's
Oh,
been working for 55
positivity
years.
sucks. Get out of here. You know who I don't love? Positivity. That
I'm
guy's
gonna go-
awful.
No, I'm gonna go Lehigh.
Lehigh. There you go. Goes back-to-back Patriot League picks.
I know I don't like it, but
Goes back-to-back Patriot
how
League
many
selections.
rounds are we doing?
8. You want to go 8? We're in round 6 right now. You want to go 8?
This is the start of the 6th round.
Yeah.
All right, it's your pick.
We really are. I'm going Richmond. Richmond is my pick. We're trying to find somebody who gets in from the CAA. I got to start looking at some of these other leagues now. I got to start figuring out who I like in
I don't even
some
have
of
a
these other
computer in front of me.
qualifying leagues. All right, back to Jordan.
I'll go with UMass.
Good pick.
It's a good pick. Again, trying to find somebody. Somebody's getting in from that league. Like we know that. Somebody's getting in. Cass,
Am I just picking one?
you picking 2.
Actually
Okay.
picking 2.
Every time you pick now, you're picking 2 until we get to the last round. Then you're not. It's very confusing.
Okay, I say UMBC.
Love it.
Okay, definitely could get through. The America East is wide open.
Ryan
Okay.
Moran, great guy.
Um,
I only said that to get under your skin.
When did you become? Oh man, I was going to say when did you become John Gruden, but I mean like the analyst John Gruden, not the other guy John Gruden. This guy, love this guy. Oh, by the way, Brian Powell wants to know when it is that you'll be releasing your top 10. When are you going to put out your first poll for the season?
My first poll will come out Memorial Day at 4 p.m.
Ah, that's a great time for it.
Yeah.
Very good time for it.
Last 2 years I've had Virginia.
Amazing how that worked
Maryland.
out. You
by
nailed
the
it.
way, that national championship
it's
game.
phenomenal.
Lars and John Tillman
Phenomenal.
going at it.
Phenomenal. Incredible.
Bobby Benson. Love that guy.
Yep.
I coached him all through high school, so I can say that. Went to his wedding. Like, great dude.
All you do is talk about who you love. I would love it if you came in one time and you were like, I'm going to go a different way.
I'm going to death
Really
list.
surprised. Not a death list. Just somebody you're like, you know what? I don't love that guy.
Two kids
Not
who
my
have-
guy.
If you haven't seen Something About Mary or The Big Lebowski, you're on the list.
There, 100%.
I'm on that list.
Yes. All right, Jordan.
Wait, I didn't pick my second one.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
got it.
oh yeah,
I
you're
said
right. Never mind.
UMBC
Okay.
And then High Point.
Okay.
Great pick.
All you've said is great pick other than Rutgers. It's the only pick you haven't liked in this
Rutgers is
draft.
probably going to win it.
It's
So,
the only pick.
Huh?
I'll go. Or no, it's not me. Is
Yeah,
it? Ben?
it's you,
Back to
Jordan.
me?
Yes.
I'll go.
Larry
with,
Johnson.
Grandmama.
Yep.
Give me another New England squad. I'll go with Boston. BU.
BU. I don't love that pick. I need to find a team that's going to get in. I like Bryant's chances in the NEC. So give me
Mike Pressler.
Of course you love Mike Pressler. Of
I was
course
walking
you do.
through BWI, and
Here we
there
go.
he is. We sat there and talked for half an hour waiting for our flights. Could not have been more pleasant.
What this segment really is just Booker telling you stories about all of the coaches in college lacrosse.
They're great people.
I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying that's all the segment is.
College hoops has got a little grease in there.
No, you don't
It's,
like them. Yeah, you don't like the college hoops coaches.
Other than Coach K.
Of course, that's the guy you love.
Yeah. Well,
Of
I
course you
spent
love
time with him.
Coach K.
I've hung out with him. So.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know
Wait,
that.
you went with Bryant?
Yes, I went with Bryant because I like their chances in the NEC. You got 2 picks, Book.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
would go with Drexel because my man Ross Blumenthal is the goaltender there, and Roger Blumenthal could not be a nicer person.
Of course. Anything else?
And I love Volks. Coached middle school with Volks.
It's just 6 degrees. You know your Kevin Bacon game? It's really Booker Corrigan for lacrosse. It's 6 degrees of
But
separation.
you're only allowed 3 degrees.
Yeah, right.
And then my other pick is going to be
Into the microphone, Booker. You're
Sorry,
doing
my-
the.
my
You're
other
doing.
pick-
You're,
sorry,
yeah.
My other pick is going to be Brown State.
Brown is Booker's other pick.
Brown State.
These kids don't know. You gotta understand.
Brown
They're gonna be
State.
very confused. Brown is who
And that's
Booker
it. I'm
picks.
finished picking.
Oh, you're out. Oh my God, this is our last pick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like all 8 of my teams.
All right. Well, just
although
because
the Army Lehigh is tough because they're in the same.
they're in the same
conference.
league.
But Army's going to make it.
Just because nobody's taking them, give me Towson.
Townsend.
Give me Towson. Don't love it, but give me Towson just because they're still on the board. I was between them and somebody else that's still on the board. Go ahead, LJ. I know. I don't feel great about it, but yeah, it's the sake of it.
Doesn't matter. You can't pick it.
I'm out. It's out. It's over for me. It's over.
Did LJ here he goes.
Has anyone taken
nervous.
Navy yet?
Nobody has taken Navy yet.
I'll go.
Navy
Sure,
for that
I'll
was
go with
that
Navy.
was what I was between.
He's
There
nervous,
you go.
but on the surface he
He's
looks
calm and ready.
to
Yeah,
drop
100%.
bombs.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a Bookerism.
Finally.
He came up with that originally. That was his original line that he came up with and uses for lacrosse broadcasts.
That's how I like to come on the air.
Yeah, right.
Believe me, sweetie, I got another feed the needy.
I've heard that one a few times in my life. That one I've heard a few times.
So have I.
I still use the Run DMC thing for the hat trick.
What's that?
This game is his recital. He thinks it's very vital to rock a rhyme. It's right on time. Hat tricky is his title.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one that I use.
It's tricky to rock a rime to rock a rime. That's right
on
on time.
Hat tricky. Tricky. You act like they nothing.
Yeah.
Two blank
Blank
stares.
stares.
Utterly blank stares.
You had that same look walking into the SATs.
that was a good one.
All right.
Finally,
yeah,
a good
there we
one.
go.
Cass,
there we
you've
go.
got the final.
I'll
You've got the
give
final
some
pick of
credit.
the
And the
draft.
last pick of the draft. Papa Cass.
Has Hobart been picked?
Nobody has
No.
picked Hobart. They are available. All right.
that one.
So there's your draft. Cass's team: Maryland, Georgetown, Yale, Princeton, Jacksonville, UMBC, High Point, and Hobart. Jordan's team: Rutgers, Johns Hopkins. Syracuse might be the best pick in the third round, by the way. That might be his top pick. Syracuse, Michigan, Delaware, UMass, BU. Although Hopkins, I mean, who knows? Maybe Hopkins really does put things together. And Rutgers is off to a great start. And Navy. You know what? I'm making fun of your picks. It's very good. These are very good picks.
They're all good picks. 'Cause
Watch,
we don't know.
watch
Yep.
Rutgers go on and
They're
shock.
undefeated. Virginia, Ohio. I hope they lose tomorrow. Virginia, Ohio State, Penn, Loyola, Cornell, Richmond, Bryant, and Towson. And Booker's got Duke, Notre Dame, Denver, Carolina, Army, Lehigh, Drexel, and Brown. That is our draft. Booker, tomorrow.
Wow.
Tomorrow,
Noon.
Duke,
I can't wait.
Penn, not Yale. Yale's doing something else. Don't worry about that.
So the video, it's available live at noon, or you can get it on demand. It'll be up for the next couple weeks where you can go on and purchase it. It's $12. We've spent more money at Starbucks. You've spent more money on 3 lattes. So don't come at me with $12.
I spent more than that on a hoagie before. In
And
fact.
our camera people are going to be outside freezing, so they're going to get a
poor.
little hazard pay out of if we make any money on the deal.
Right.
But it's UnderArmourLacrosse.com/watch. It couldn't be easier. It's like 5 clicks. Get on there and watch it. It's going to be an unbelievably fun broadcast. It's not going to be loopy crazy like some of my high school stuff, but you know, hopefully it'll be tied to
People sometimes ask me, they're like, "What is it like hanging out with Booker?" And I'm like, "It's basically loopy crazy. Like it's basically
not that there's anything wrong with
no,
that.
not at all,
Yeah.
not at all." Corrigansports.com to find out more about the 10 miler and all the various events that are
And
coming up.
LJ's Baltimore half marathon
In a
It'll be on
Speedo.
October 15th.
God, I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
I am really looking forward to that.
I can't wait for the Derek Smalls part. of the
At
Speedo.
Booker, are you still leading me in followers?
I don't know. I haven't checked in a while.
like
At
that.
Booker Corrigan
No,
on
no,
Twitter.
no. Hang on. I'll let you know if you can plug
Follow
that or
me
not.
on Twitter.
I'll
I'll follow you
no,
back.
I'll let you know if you can
There-
plug that or not.
And at Booker Corrigan
At
on
Booker
Twitter.
Corrigan. No, you can't follow him. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. He's
Is
sitting
that a
at
tier that I see?
He's sitting at 4,700 and we're at 4,500. You gotta wait. Wait like a
you
month.
have a whole show. I just have me. I'm just like I'm the show.
You got all these people that you know. You know everybody in the entire sport.
That's true.
Everybody's following.
That's true. I love my look. I got Coach Danowski. I got Coach Corrigan. I got Coach Tierney, who couldn't.
You're gonna say couldn't be a nicer guy? Is that what you're gonna have to say there, Booker?
So nice to my dad. My dad
There you
passed
go.
away 7 years ago yesterday.
Yep.
I saw Bill Tierney when I was doing the Denver-Utah game, and all he could talk about was how much he liked my dad.
It's very sweet. I
Yes.
don't want to. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's very sweet, but still, Jesus.
And then I
man.
got Coach Bresci. I got Coach Alberici.
They're all
Coach
great.
Cassis,
They're all great.
Coach, folks, I couldn't lose with my coaches are better than all of your coaches.
Wait a second.
No,
I've got Lars Tiffany and
I love Lars.
Yeah,
He's
calm
the
down
best.
over there. Calm
you got
down.
Mike Murphy. You got Charlie Toomey.
Yep, I got a good group.
Dave
And I got Mike
Giamatti.
Pressler down at the bottom of the list, and Sean Navlin too.
Yeah.
All right. All right, buddy. I love you.
Love you. Time
It's
to
great
go.
to see you. Thank you for coming in this morning, my
so
friend.
glad to do this.
Booker Corrigan. He'll be back at
Just
some
good.
point when he decides he doesn't want to be in Florida any longer. He'll come back up here and hang out with us again.
Thank you to everyone for your toleration.
Yeah, right. When we come back in, young Yutes, and did this really happen? We will find out. That's all on the way. Today's show also brought to you by the... Ooh, who's this brought to you by? You know what? We'll do it on the other side because I don't know. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
After being virtual in 2021, the CIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament is headed to Charm City this February 22nd through 26th. The CIAA is an event that has become a celebration of family, culture, and accomplishments that uplift and strengthen the African American community. See the excitement in person as some of the best college basketball in the country comes to Baltimore's Royal Farms Arena with the CIAA Men's and Women's Conference Tournament. Get your tickets now at CIAAtournament.org. That's CIAAtournament.org.
The newest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball's 2002 NCAA Tournament Championship, as Gary Williams reflects on how the program rose from the ashes of NCAA sanctions to the pinnacle of the sport, and why his perspective of the title run has changed now 2 decades later. Plus, Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, and the rest of the team relive the moments that ultimately led them to cutting down the nets in Atlanta. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farms stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
If you miss anything, don't forget that you can find whole shows later on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcasts. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
We're having an issue with that cord. We just got to make sure we're careful with it. All right, back in here on GCR. So we continue on a Friday edition of the program. Thanks again to Booker Corrigan for coming in and hanging out with us this morning. Things always get a little silly with Book. That's why we love him. Hey, it's been a busy week for Stan the Fan. If you missed any of his shows on Monday night, he and Ross Grimsley caught up with Mike Torres. Then on Wednesday, he chatted with Visit Baltimore President and CEO Al Hutchinson. And then last night, he and Gary Stein caught up with Don Marcus, the former University of Maryland beat writer for the Baltimore Sun, who's got this new Len Bias podcast that's available for you. All of those shows are available right now by going to facebook.com/PressBoxSports and clicking on the videos tab, or going to PressBoxOnline.com/video. So who went first last week? Which segment did we do first last week? Cass went first last week? All right, that means... Not a lot of body to this. I got to go deeper. To pull it out.
That was
It's time.
your best ending whistle, though.
It was a better ending whistle, but it's because I regrouped there in order to prepare for it. I was not getting the full. I was getting a lot of wasted air in the build up to it. It's time for Young Yutes. Young Yutes is brought to you this week by Simply the Bets. Simply the Bets every Wednesday at 11:30ish, 11:35, 11:40, somewhere in that range. It's brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland and the FanDuel Sportsbook. We get you ready for the week in sports betting. Simply the Bets every Wednesday at 11:30. 3 stories, 3 things that you think the Young Utes care about, and then Cass tells us you're wrong. What is number 1?
The first is, so Ben Stiller offered his thoughts on why Pete Davidson is popular with the ladies.
So I saw that Ben Stiller and Pete Davidson are friends, which is kind of weird, but I mean, how old is Ben Stiller? He's got to be.
No clue. I
Gotta be around
actually.
50.
He's got to be older than 50.
I watched I forget the name of it. It was a really good. I don't know if you call it a documentary.
Ben Stiller is 56 years old.
On Netflix, and it was about celebrities and actors' first time on shrooms. And Ben Stiller was on there, and Ben Stiller was like, "Yeah, I did it once. I will never ever do it again." And meanwhile, you had guys like Anthony Bourdain, of course, being like, "This blew my mind. It's a culture shock." Blah, blah, blah.
I'm opposed. I would not encourage anyone at all to. Thankfully, I hate this. I had a friend who tried it before me, and after seeing what that person experienced, I said, "Nope, never doing it. Never in my life. Not gonna happen."
One of my friends had a.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. That's all I needed. I said, I don't need to know what that feels like. I'm good.
He said he saw a monkey dancing in the grass, and he just started going like
my
that.
buddy attempted to jump into the dirtiest water that I've ever seen because he thought his body was on fire, and we literally had.
This was shrooms. This wasn't acid.
Nope. This was shrooms, and we had to go to the hospital. It was a whole deal, and I said, "Yep, I'm good. I'm good."
Well,
that
is a traumatic experience.
Never need to experience that phenomenon whatsoever. Never need to know.
I've never done anything remotely close to that.
Yeah.
I'm scared. We ran into a guy when I was a teenager.
Paul's like, I had a beer the other day, and it was crazy.
This guy tried to attack my dad's car when he had us one weekend. And he was, his name was something like Crazy Lou, and he lived
Crazy Lou.
Blockbuster. Because he had done so much acid, he ruined his brain. And that was enough for me.
So
a
bit different than shrooms, but
I've never done anything close to that.
Yeah. So
anyway, back to Ben Stiller and Pete Davidson.
The reasons why Pete Davidson has such a way with the ladies is according to Ben Stiller, he's very personable, a sweet guy. He's got charisma. He's funny. He's really funny, but he has become really famous for, I think, dating. And so he's a guy who loves work. He cares about his work. It's pretty much just this article.
This
of
does
Ben
not make
Stiller
sense at all.
Gassing up.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I was just shocked. It's just like, why are people talking about this? But it's also like, now
you're
I
not
know,
selling this well.
Now I know why Pete Davidson's so attractive.
I got a bad feeling you're about to take an L on this one.
Yeah, you're
George.
taking an L on this
I
one.
think you're taking an L on
People
this
like
one.
Pete Davidson, but I don't think anyone gives like a single care.
If you had watched There's Something About Mary, you probably would, Cass. Sorry.
I can't believe you haven't watched it yet.
Very.
Okay, think about it though.
Really
I will watch it
bothersome.
this week. I swear, this weekend I will watch it.
It's an American classic.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest motion pictures. All right, anyway.
I want a synopsis on Tuesday.
I did not know, by the way, that Ben Stiller and this is the truth. So part of the news this week was that Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor got back together. I was unaware that they had ever split up because I just don't pay attention to these things. So they apparently reconciled, and they're back. Christine Taylor, of course, was Marsha Brady or Jan? Wait, no, which one? She was Marsha Brady, right? Which Brady was Christine Taylor?
Brady.
Marsha Brady.
Marsha.
In the movie, obviously.
Yeah, I never knew that they broke up. I thought they.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no freaking clue. And was also in Dodgeball, and you'd seen
Zoolander.
100%. So, that's lovely. I'm happy that their family is back together. It's a lovely thing. But I did not think the young Utes cared much about Ben Stiller, which is a bummer because he's a very funny man. He's a genius. And anybody who hasn't seen Dodgeball or There's Something About Married should rectify that, or Zoolander should rectify that immediately.
I've seen Dodgeball.
It's good. It's good. That's good. See Something About Married.
Meet the Parents. You seen those?
What did you say?
The Meet the Parents franchise. Have you seen?
You don't need to see either of the other two. You just need to see Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
You can leave it alone after that.
Okay.
Nothing else to be said.
Got it.
Yep.
Number 2 is Tom Holland says one of his Spider-Man No Way Home co-stars were a fake ass on set.
I saw this story. Okay. I get the sense that young Utes actually care about this because this was
Tom Holland, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
For
why?
sure.
Why do they care about it?
It's Tom Holland.
His exact.
But he didn't wear the fake ass.
His exact quote was, I'm going to give you a spoiler, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, but one of us has a fake ass in their suit. You can figure that part out for yourself. I remember being on set and being like, wow, hang on a minute, that's not real.
My guess is Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, because he's skinny and he has no.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
know?
Well, Tom Holland's skinny too.
No, he is
not anymore. I
not.
guess
Did
he's
you
put
see
on.
the
Yeah, you're right.
shirtless part in the
Yeah.
movie? Oh my!
I don't know.
God,
I don't know
he's,
that that's not
jacked.
digital. I don't know that that's not digitally
no.
enhanced.
It's been like proven. Like it was like an article where the first movie he had to wear like a suit
Yeah.
to make him look bigger, but this was the first movie actually fit without having to wear like a suit. So he's just jacked.
You are really defensive about Tom Holland. She's really defensive about Tom Holland.
Also is in the new Uncharted movie, which
It does not.
Watching it this
does not
Sunday.
look interesting to me.
Oh, see, I played the video games growing up, so
It has literally the two sexiest men on this earth playing in it.
Who's the other one?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh right.
Mark
yeah, I
Wahlberg.
forgot.
Mark.
I did forget about that.
Marky
yeah.
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
All the things, the nostalgic things that you know about versus the things you don't know about are really fascinating to me.
He's gorgeous.
Really fascinating to
Terrible
me.
with that mustache, though.
Probably. I don't care.
I don't care about the fake butt thing. Did you see the story about Charlie Cox?
Mm-mm.
So Charlie Cox, who is Daredevil, and had a brief cameo. The story is that he started getting messages from people who went and saw it that like the crowd was erupting when they saw his cameo. And so he went with his wife to watch the movie with the idea being they wanted to she was going to film his reaction to the crowd going nuts. And he went, and it was crickets. It was utter.
Okay, but the thing is, I think not many people knew who that was because, like, I watched it 3 times in theaters. One with my parents, one with my friend, and then one with my other friend, like Spider-Man.
You really have is it all because of Tom Holland? Is this a Tom Holland thing?
Slightly, yes. Like,
wow.
To tell you the truth, like, the 3 times I watched the shirtless scene, like, on the big screen is way better than any TV screen. I'm telling you that right now. But point of the story is...
It's getting a little uncomfortable.
I'm
I'm not very comfortable with where we're going.
Whatever.
I'd rather talk about Jordan's butt tattoo.
Point of the story is everyone's like, who is that? Why is that such a big deal? And like, you're not a Marvel fan, and half those people got up before the end credits. So they're not real.
Yeah,
Marvel
they're
fans.
definitely not.
You don't know who that is.
But I thought that was great. I love the fact that he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna film that. We're gonna film a reaction. We're gonna have fun with it. Put it on social media." Man, nothing. And it almost kind of makes me mad they didn't share it anyway. Like I actually think that content's just as good.
Yeah,
it's like him being there waiting for the big reaction and then looking around like, "Oh," like, I think that would have been good content too. All right, but you're saying the young Utes do care about the fake butt in Spider-Man. That's a big deal.
Big deal.
Okay, is it a big deal for young Utes besides you?
Yes.
Yeah, I know so many people that talk about this stuff. Anything Spider-Man, like, literally gets so much.
Well, I mean, I get that. It ain't just with the young Utes, though, by the way. The
Mostly
Spider-Man
female.
thing.
I'm not going to lie. Mostly female.
I don't get the Tom Holland obsession. I don't get that.
See, I understand that a whole lot more than the Pete Davidson obsession.
Okay, fine. I agree with that, but he's
nice
not.
looking and he's got a British accent.
The accent,
his
sure.
personality is just so sweet. Like, he's just a really
I think
good
it's
guy.
because I just see like a small child when I look at him. Like I
Maybe.
That's great for me because I could be considered a small child too, and like half of my crushes are like older, like Mark Wahlberg, and like
yeah, he's like 100, right? Yeah.
Well, compared to me, like that's what half.
Yeah, it does
plus
not fall.
7?
It does not
doesn't
fall into the
fall.
half your age plus 7
exactly.
category.
So it
Sorry,
kinda
not
sucks
going to
for
work.
me. So allowing me to have someone like Tom
And obviously,
Holland,
otherwise, you're definitely going to have a future with Mark Wahlberg had it not been for
literally
that.
could.
Yeah, that
my
would have been the
toxic
case.
trait is thinking that if I ever met him, he'd want to marry me. I'm serious.
Isn't he already married?
Yeah, but he would
So
leave
he'd
his wife for me. Yes,
for
me.
Papa Cass, obviously. I mean, in fair, we get it. I think we all get it. That's the way it's going to be. Once he finds out that you haven't seen There's Something About Mary, he's just going to say, and you hate napkins. How can I miss that? How can I miss out on someone that hate
Entourage? Okay.
What else did we learn about Cass the other day? Oh, once he finds out you've been frog gigging, I mean, how do you possibly skip out on the opportunity to marry a known frog
That
gigger?
is literally what I'm saying.
That's what you're doing. All right, number 3.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Logan Paul are teaming up to launch the new Slap Fighting Championship. It will take place March 5th at the annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Festival in Columbus, Ohio.
The Arnold, they call it.
It will air live
That's a real thing. They really do call it the Arnold. Yeah.
It will air live on Fanmeo as well as Paul's YouTube channel and Facebook Live. And Paul said about it, I love the absurdity of it. I love the idea that two guys could just stand across from each other and just slap each other and see who falls down first. It's hilarious to me. It's like, how is that a real event? What the F is that sport? And Arnold Schwarzenegger tweeted out, prepare to watch some brutal slaps March 5th with me and Logan Paul live and free on Logan's YouTube. Don't miss it.
All right. Do the young Utes care about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Logan Paul slap fighting?
I'd say that's a win. Because
Really?
Do you know how many, like, doofus boys that you, like, go to a party and they're like, oh, my God, let's, like, slap box each other. And they're just smacking each other when they're drunk. It's so stupid. But, like, guys will definitely be like, oh, my God, Logan Paul and, like, this dude, like, just, like, slapping each other.
My friends have actually,
yeah.
and I'm sure this thought has come to every dude's mind at some point in their lives. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend, or mainly me, had the idea of we get like an 18 rack between like two people. You split it, you finish it, you tape all the beers together like a joust, and then you get on top of your partner's back who you finished the rack with, and it's like a tournament style, and you beer joust.
It's a really bad idea.
It's so
really
funny.
bad idea.
People call them 18 racks.
I like that.
Yeah, I've never heard that
Great
before either.
idea.
For what it's worth,
Really?
that's
18
not that.
pack?
We certainly did not.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we never
18.
used the term 18 rack when I was a young man. Everything about that is such a terrible idea. It's definitely something I would have done. Let me make that abundantly clear. I
Okay.
definitely would have
Alright.
done it, but it's a terrible, terrible idea.
Yes, someone's going to get hurt.
It's really a wretched idea altogether. I have a couple of thoughts. Do you like Logan Paul?
No, I personally hate him, but I'm always a fan of people who can put out content.
You see, this is where we separate. The ability to put out content does not, like, it's got. This is honestly, this is where I'm going to be the old man, like, screams at cloud. I hate that. Be actually funny. It can't just exist for the sake of existing, right? I hate that content. That content drives me nuts. Either be funny, informative, whatever it is that it's going to be. Like, I like that content. Be a dramatic television show, something that's captivating. That's great to me. Just content for content's sake, like, it drives me. And everything I see about this dude is that guy. He's coming to WrestleMania. He's doing something with The Miz at WrestleMania. He's going to face Rey Mysterio. Like, this guy does nothing for me. The Jake Paul boxing thing, I know we had Asim Rahman on a couple weeks ago, and he was, like, going on about how, no, Jake Paul's great for boxing. Like, no, he's not. He's not. Your argument is he's getting the eyeballs, and he's sharing it with real boxers. That real boxers are on the undercard, and that's a good thing for them, except for the fact that nobody's talking about them.
Yeah,
Nobody is talking about the boxers on the undercard. The only thing they're talking about is stupid Jake Paul, who's not actually a boxer. And then there are people that are so stupid that they try to pretend like Jake Paul is a boxer. Well, look, he's got some punch power. He's not facing real fighters.
Exactly.
I just don't like him because there's people that, like, work their whole life towards it, and because he's, like, a YouTuber, like, and this is for a lot of people, like, if you're just famous before, like, you get put into situations for, like,
horribly
free, and
embarrassing.
I'm like, okay. But, like, at the same time, he's bringing in a lot of more views for, like, things of this, like, I guess, agenda, which is, like, really good to a certain point, but, like, at the same time, I don't care for it. It was, like, the whole thing with, like, Addison Rae. She, like, went to college for a semester to do sports broadcasting and dropped out, literally a semester. And then she got to go to, I think it was MMA or, like, something, some fighting, like, whatever it was. She got to do, like, the broadcasting and the face
interviewers.
Of it. And a lot of people, and she was like, I worked a whole semester to, like, do this, and, like, this is such a great opportunity. And people have worked their whole lives, and they're like, why are people that, like, didn't, like, she got it because she has a platform. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't agree with people who have, like, platforms.
Well, it's the content for content's sake. Be good at something. Be good at something. Just being somebody who makes content does nothing for me. Be good at something. I would like to know what it's like. I've never had that. I've never had such a skill. I'm not good at anything. I would love to know what it's like. But be good at something. I'll be a fan of that.
It's like, do you know the YouTuber Mr. Beast? I somewhat do you know? So
no.
His like whole bit, and I really don't understand how this works. He just gives out money and films YouTube videos about, like, he's like, here, you were such a nice because he'll, like, dress up as, like, a homeless man or something, and someone will donate, like, $1, and then he'll, like, go behind a dumpster and come out with, like, briefcases with tons of like
money.
like, not fake cash, like real cash, and he's like, here is $1 million because you were a nice person today, or like something like. And he has like millions of subscribers in front, and I'm like, dude, it's.
I mean, look, I'm sure it's very sweet. I'm sure it's not. It's not. It would not be for me.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
it's just not for me. Whatever the days of like pimp my ride and putting like an aquarium in someone's car. Like that's the type of content I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like that.
The show Tanked.
Is that what is that? What is Tanked?
Oh, it's about these guys who get contracted for like extreme like homemade aquariums.
Like, you know what? I have heard of that. Yeah, I have heard of that. I would watch that.
It's a fantastic
show. My floating home was one of my favorite. People turn boats into houses. I love that show. That show is incredible. I'm all in on that. But yes, I'm out on the Paul brothers. Do nothing for me whatsoever. Other than, I can't lie, when he did the bit where he stole Floyd Mayweather's hat.
Yeah.
I did chuckle at that. I couldn't help it. I hated myself for it. Like, I really hated myself, but I chuckled. I was like, you know what? I can't be mad. That's actually a good bit. That's a good bit, but that's it. That's the only thing I've ever seen from either of them that was remotely entertaining to me. All right, let's get into it. Did this really happen? You gave Jordan a passing grade. Did this really happen? Where are we? What happened last week? So
I lost. You guys won.
So you and Cass took the L because of it, because both Paul and I got it. So Paul and I are 2-1. You guys are 1-2. And did this really happen? Cass, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so according to Insider, former Disney star Demi Lovato took her singing career to a whole nother level after a video leaked of her and 2 other people in an abandoned house to meet and talk to ghosts in the house, and Demi later connected with this ghost named Carmen, who bonded with her over talking about her trauma and how they related to each other on a deep level. So Demi then decided to sing and serenade the ghost in the middle of this empty house with Carmen the ghost.
Turn Cass up a little bit, please. That's the extent. That's the entirety of the.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, I'm torn here. I'm very torn here. It's tearing up my heart. Here's the thing. We know Demi Lovato is crazy, right? Like, we know she's a little nuts. So
super crazy.
This is real.
This is real.
Well, your confidence about this now makes me want to swing the other way on it.
Demi Lovato is big into supernatural stuff.
Yeah, but you're too confident. That's the problem. I was leaning towards real, but you guys are way too confident. Now it makes me think that I should lean the other way.
It's too real and too short. If she had done it longer, put more elaboration to it, I might believe that it was fake.
Mm-hmm.
But it was too short. That it's real.
No, for sure.
I don't ever want to play poker against you, ever, by the way. She has gotten me.
What just happened?
Fake. It's not real.
I'm sticking with real.
And I'm only doing that because I don't like how confident they were.
Super confident. I love how confident they are, actually.
Fake.
So.
Real.
Fake.
Real.
Go ahead, Cass.
It's real.
Damn it!
Yep.
Damn it!
Yep.
Damn it! Damn it!
I was a little nervous doing that one because I was scared that you heard about that because it was like all over social media.
It sounded very.
I know that was it sounded so real that I was like,
You almost got me to flip because you were like, I like the confidence, and like you were like, I agree with him, and I'm like, wait a second, what's she doing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm 3-1.
No, you are 3-1. I'm 2-2. Jordan's 2-2. Cass, you're 1-3 now. I'm so sorry to say.
Fine.
You haven't gotten a win since week 1.
That's okay.
Rough go. Rough
like
go.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, right. Wow, not bad. Oh, not bad. All right, very good. Did this really happen? Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by the CIAA tournament. Semifinal day is underway at Royal Farms Arena. If you haven't made it down yet, you can get down today. You can get down tomorrow for the championship games. Plenty of great events coming up, like the DJ Cool Party today at Rams Head Live. CIAAtournament.org. That's the CIAA tournament this week in Baltimore.
Okay, so entering last night's matchup, Maryland was 8-8 all-time versus Indiana, including the national title game victory in 2002. Now, of course, they're 8-9 after their 74-64 loss last night. Despite that nearly 500 record, the average score of the games is 73-69 Indiana after last night's Indiana victory. Did you know that Jalen Smith has the highest scoring game of any player on either team in the history of the series, having scored 29 points in their matchup on January 26, 2020.
He was a monster that day. I remember that day well. But
game Maryland won 77-76.
Yeah.
Only 9 players from Maryland have ever scored 20 or more points in a game
Yeah.
against Indiana, Jalen Smith included. Who are the other 8?
It's fine. Maryland, Indiana is not a rivalry in any way.
Well, they're in the Big Ten.
I mean, it's just remembering any other Maryland, Indiana game besides the national championship game and that game where Jalen Smith went off. We could be here all
Mellow
day.
Trimble.
Yeah, I mean that's.
No, I'll give you a couple of hints.
You don't have to. We can just guess players for a little while. It's just
Des Wells.
Des Wells scored 22 against him.
Anthony Cowan.
Anthony Cowan scored 24 against him.
Jake Lehman.
No.
Good guess.
Kevin Herter.
No.
Diamond Stone.
No.
Bruno
Fernando scored 25. In the same game that Cowan scored 24.
This is just such a depressing. We really just should knock out most of the Mark Turgeon era and pretend like it didn't happen and start over again. I mean, that's really just the way that. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the circumstances. Yike! How many more are there?
You have 5. I'm going to give you one because you're never going to
Hang
guess it.
on. You say that. You keep saying these things.
Okay.
Is it? Hang on. Do any of them predate Maryland joining the Big Ten?
2.
3.
3. I'm sorry. 3 of the 5.
2 of them predate Maryland joining the Big Ten.
No, 3 of them.
3 of them predate Maryland joining the Big Ten. That is, I mean, where any of it was Juan Dixon in the championship game.
No.
Were any of them in the championship game?
No.
I didn't think so because they only scored 64 points in the championship game. So who predated it? Knowing when Maryland might have played Indiana over the years. I do remember there was a game, I want to say the Big Ten ACC Challenge, so I'm going to say Drew Nicholas.
No.
Steve Blake.
No.
Forget it.
He was on that team, though.
He was on that Drew Nicholas, Steve Blake, the team the year after they won the national championship. Somebody was on that team. John Gilchrist. Nick Kaner Medley.
No, we mentioned this guy on the show yesterday.
Mentioned this guy on the show yesterday. Who did we mention on the show yesterday?
It was either yesterday or the day before. We've mentioned this
damn
week.
it. Mentioned him this week. We mentioned Ryan Randall on the show this week.
Randall, 20 points.
I don't remember Ryan Randall ever having. I don't remember him ever having a 20-point game. All right, we're clearly not getting these.
One happened last night, man.
I didn't watch the game last night. Fats Russell.
Fats had 23. He had 23, 2 assists, 1 board, right?
You guys, I don't watch the game. They're not good.
No, I have Fats Russell on my college fantasy basketball
You got that
team.
going for you. That's nice.
Yeah.
You got a good output from him last night. You should probably be happy.
I
had a rough gambling evening last night.
Ooh.
I decided to play Jeremy Kahn's picks again last night. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but it was not Jeremy's night last night.
Down this year.
No, it's on me. When I don't bet with him, he's killing it. I'm his cooler. I'm 100% Jeremy's cooler. Like I don't want him to know that I bet him last night.
I just signed up for a Dynasty Fantasy Baseball League. A couple of the
am I supposed to congratulate? I don't know what I'm supposed to say
I'm
here.
excited. I don't know if you've ever played.
I've never played Dynasty Fantasy Baseball. I've never done that. And I don't play Fantasy Baseball any longer. I can't pay that much attention. It's way too much. Too many games, too much going on. Trying to figure out who's pitching twice during a given week. I just can't do it. I can't.
Oh, I love it.
I don't have it in me. All right, just help me then. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Aaron Wiggins, 22. Gravis
Sure, I
Vasquez,
guess.
23. And Albert King.
I don't remember Gravis Vasquez playing against Indiana. When did they play against Indiana?
Like 2006 or something like that.
I mean, I guess it was a Big Ten ACC challenge. I just don't remember there being an Indiana game in there.
And then Albert King. That was the one.
Albert King was a hell of a player. All right, there you go. Let's get Tubular for the weekend. Tubular is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel is open. The 51 self-service kiosks are open 24/7, so no matter what you're betting, when and where, you can bet it in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Here's what's coming up this weekend. Just going to go over some highlights for the weekend. Speaking of Indiana and Maryland, the women get together tonight at 8 o'clock on Big Ten Network. UMBC lacrosse at Mount St. Mary's this afternoon at 3. CIAA tournament, the women's semifinals underway right now. Virginia State and Elizabeth City State. And then the later one is Lincoln University and Livingstone. Tonight, the men's semifinals, Livingstone and Fayetteville State, Virginia Union and Winston-Salem State. CIA, the men's championship tomorrow at 4. That's on ESPNU. The semifinals are all on ESPN+. The women's championship is on ESPN+ as well. What else? Spurs Wizards tonight, 7 o'clock on NBC Sports Washington. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Network for Navy and Colgate at 2. Towson Lacrosse is at home tomorrow at noon against Richmond. And then Towson Basketball on the road against Madison after they pounded them at home on Wednesday. That's tomorrow afternoon at 4. ESPN+, I'll be with you for Rutgers Loyola Lacrosse at noon tomorrow. High Point Navy Lacrosse at noon. Loyola American Basketball at 2. ESPN3 for Maine UMBC Basketball at 1. UMES Coppin State tomorrow at 4 on Flow Sports. Delaware State's website to find Morgan and Delaware State at 4:30. Big Ten Network Plus for Florida and Maryland women's lacrosse at noon. Princeton and Maryland men's lacrosse at 1. Stevenson lacrosse at home tomorrow night against Colorado College at 7. I'll have that for you. Go Mustangsports.tv. And Maryland gymnastics against Penn State tomorrow at 1:30 on Big Ten Network. Everything else. Oh, there's a stadium game in the NHL tomorrow night. The Lightning and Predators at 7:30 from the Titan Stadium. That's on TNT. DC United gets their season underway tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on NBC Sports Washington Plus against Charlotte. Capitals Flyers tomorrow at 12:30 on NBC Sports Washington and NHL Network. Wizards Cavaliers tomorrow night at 8 on NBC Sports Washington. On Sunday, CBS for Ohio State Maryland at 4. ESPN3 for Hopkins Carolina Lacrosse at 2. Everything else, go to glennclarkradio.com and find it there. Anything in particular that stands out non-sports-wise?
So tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, musical guest Tears for Fears. I haven't heard anything from them since like 93. They're going to be the musical guest. And on Amazon Prime Video, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, episodes 3 and 4 this evening. Tomorrow on Country Music Television, MTV, VH1, and Paramount, the 53rd Annual NAACP Image Awards at 8 o'clock. On NBC at 11:30, you have Saturday Night Live with host John Mulaney and musical guest LCD Sound.
This is John Mulaney's 5th time hosting Saturday Night Live. He joins the Five Timers Club, and he's playing 2 shows at Merriweather this summer. I love John Mulaney. I had no idea he was 2 shows at Merriweather big at this point.
2 shows, John, so he got the nickname.
Is that what it is? I had no idea. I was like, wow, that's cute. That's huge.
No, and then on Sunday, The Simpsons at 8, The Great North at 8:30, Bob's Burgers at 9, Family Guy at 9:30 on Fox. You have The Walking Dead at 9 and Talking Dead at 10 on AMC. On TNT, the 28th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards at 8 o'clock.
The SAGs, of course.
The SAGs.
Yes.
And then on HBO.
Which is what they're going to call Jordan's tattooed butt in about 50 years.
Yeah,
You know it.
That's a good one. On HBO, Euphoria Season 2 finale at 9, The Rights and Gemstones Season 2 finale at 10.
I'm not ready for that.
Somebody Somewhere Season 1 finale at 10:45, and on Paramount Plus, the 1883 season finale.
They got a lot to clean up in this finale episode of Gemstones that nobody's talking about. Like, everybody's convinced they know who the Cycle Ninjas are working for, and everybody's forgetting about something else that they laid out at the beginning of the season. And there's just a lot they got to clean up. They got to clean up a ton in one episode.
I don't think anyone cares, but it's the same with Euphoria.
Well, Cass cares, obviously. Cass cares a great deal.
I mean, last week's episode had me very, very upset at the ending.
Happened.
They left it on like 8 cliffhangers.
We're like 3 or 4 episodes into season 2, so no spoilers here.
Yes.
Nope. All right.
Well, I probably want to remember it anyway.
All I'm saying is we love Lexi.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, who doesn't love Lexi? Love that Lexi.
And this Sunday I'll be at the I think I'm making my first Baltimore Blast trip of the season.
They're at CQ Arena. Very cool. Very cool. All right, Cass, social media.
Instagram, Cassidy_Elizabeth22, and then Twitter, CassieButler5.
And Jordan.
Instagram, JSchwartzberg1, and Twitter, SchwartzbergJS.
By the way, I put it to the people, and they are currently split 50-50 on whether the butt tattoo would be amazing or amazingly reckless. Dead split 50-50. That's the way it goes.
Guess I'm the deciding vote.
Oh, look at you. Well, Cassidy was on your side, too,
Yeah, there we
actually.
go.
She was on your side as well. All right. Thanks today to Booker Corrigan for stopping by. Thanks to Tino Ellis for checking in. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the tab at glennclarkradio.com. Jeremy should be back on Monday. Stuffing things otherwise. We'll find out when we get the Monday. What's coming up on the Bat Around tomorrow?
So we for sure have Stan the Fan and Eric Arditi trying to get Evan Drellick. I will know tonight if he's going to come on or not.
Very good. Talk about what's going on and when we might actually have baseball again, which would be nice. It's tomorrow. 10 to noon on the Bat Around. Paul and Zach talking baseball. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, the CIAA Tournament, Grade 8's Memorabilia, Live Casino and Hotel, Underdog Fantasy Football, Blue Line K9, your local Toyota dealer, and buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Paul. Follow him on Twitter at Paul Valley III. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Go all the local hoops, local lacrosse teams. Duke sucks, and, hey, more than any weekend, Ohio State sucks too.